how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
I'm also good. Sorry, I meant that generally to the audience, but Will, this is co-host
That,
Will.
that's too late. I hijacked it.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So yeah, we're starting early, and I am starting earlier because one, we usually started 10 minutes earlier, but we've gotten into the habit of starting a little bit later. We're gonna get back into the habit of starting earlier so people can pour in and we can chat, and I can make sure everything's working with the new software I'm using. Okay. I know it makes no difference to you guys, visually or otherwise, but we are using new streaming setup, especially after our Yusola stream ended abruptly. I mean, we were doing it for like 3 hours or something. It was like a
Yeah.
long stream. But I've had so much trouble with OBS, Streamlabs, Prism Live, that I woke up early and I found a different solution. So I hope to goodness this is the perfect solution, and you guys let me know. I'm also streaming at a higher quality than usual, so that might mess things up, though I do pay for the nation's fastest internet, so hopefully not. Okay. How's your week, Will? Actually, you can tell the audience. I do know. No
Yeah.
spoilers. No
So,
spoilers.
everybody in my house is currently sick with the flu. I went to the doctors to get myself checked out, and I'm good, but I have flu symptoms. And then on like Tuesday, since I do HVAC work, I got like several cat houses in a row, and I have an allergy to cats. So drainage, nasal drainage from flu symptoms, scratching my throat, plus hats inflaming my throat, made it so my throat has just been killing me all week. So if it sounds like I hack out my lungs on stream, that's what's going on.
You're actually hacking out your lungs on stream.
Indeed, indeed.
Duly noted. Thoughts on the Final Fantasy set? Digital Panda. Solid question. I I like it so far with what I've seen. I think that Will and I talked about this on one of our previous streams, and I think this is maybe something we should be in the habit of doing. These streams go a long time, and we do talk about a lot of things other than the decks we're building. So, if you're not peering into the whole stream, you might not get the whole conversation. But I feel like we were a little disappointed mechanically with Ether Drift, and there were some misses, like just within the game design and the theme. And I don't know. I've been playing the game for years, and we've covered it on this channel for years. So whatever place I'm in to make that comment. From what I've seen from Final Fantasy, it looks really good. I hope they succeed on matching the themes from the games and translating them to Magic the Gathering. That's all I really care about, because like we're already knee deep into this universe is beyond business, whether you like it or not. I just want to make sure that we are honoring the properties we're covering, and not just with like, it's this thing that's in game, but it's named Shield Throw or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Like we do something that's give us a reason to go to the world of Final Fantasy. Does that make sense? Like give us a reason to go into the world of Ether Drift, whether it's a Universes Beyond or Universes Within. And so far, I like it. I don't know, Will. It's pretty early, so
Yeah, I'm personally more of a fan as long as the flavor stuff to make it fit in Magic the Gathering in a functional way where it's like, oh yeah, it's its own property, but it's not super intrusive. Because I know that we're getting a SpongeBob, not set, but we're getting a Universes Beyond SpongeBob, a Universes Beyond Avatar.
wait,
and
I didn't know about
Spider-Man in the
SpongeBob.
future.
I didn't know about SpongeBob.
We're getting SpongeBob. I don't think we're getting a set. I think it's going to be a secret layer. But
Okay.
it might be a set though. I don't know. I don't know the details on it. I'll have to look that up. But
Standard legal SpongeBob.
I'm happy with the announcement for the
Dragons.
For the Avatar, Avatar one, as long as they don't go super cartoony with the art. Because I'm like, I think everybody, when they think Avatar The Last Airbender, they think like the Nick cartoon, like the actual cartoon series. That's what
Right.
everybody always thinks of when they think of it. And I'm like, if they just take screenshots or character art from that, I don't think I'm going to like it. If they use that as alternate art, sure. But I want them to make something that's like, oh yeah, no, they went for like the seriousness of Magic the Gathering for the art style as at least the initial art, I'd be happy with it. But that's my only thing where I'm like, oh yeah, I get thrown off by Secret Layers if they want to make it like super dopey or doofy to fit into its own thing. But I'm hyped with Final Fantasy because it feels like it fits very well. The only like dopey or doofy thing is Jumbo Cactus, but honestly, he gets a pass. So
Oh, that's great though. I like it's all
yeah.
about the memes, and so far like the flavor's great. I want to see a
Also, by the way,
behemoth. I want to see a
Jumbo Cactura. Sorry, not Jumbo Cactus, but he is Jumbo Cactus.
yeah. Um, yeah, yeah. So everything Will said, everything I said, 100% accurate in our own opinions. I just don't have faith. I've got enough faith. I don't know. Like, I think if this hurts them financially, they'll steer the ship a different way. So I have faith that money will guide. Sadly, that seems to be the dividing rod for most businesses, but you know, gotta stay in business. All right, so Emet-Selch, Selch.
I've been saying Selch.
Yeah, actually, hey, are we getting a? Sorry, one more aside before we actually jump into this. You might not see me again, Will. Neither will you, audience, because I did just purchase Monster Hunter Wilds, and I'm pretty sure, like, between all of the games, I've at least put a year of my life just like in-game time into those games. It's bad. I don't know why I picked up this one, but I wanted to. Do we know? Are we getting like a Capcom Monster Hunter? Was that announced, or is this just in my head? Because I feel like Monster Hunter would fit the world of Magic the Gathering pretty well.
I don't know, but I honestly would not be against it because Monster Hunter literally feels like it's a plane in Magic the Gathering already.
Legitimately, and also the monsters would be sick as hell, dude. Please, just give me a Lagiacrus. Give me a Lagiacrus, please. I do like the water monsters a lot. What's your main weapon? Oh, thanks. Right now, sorry, we'll jump right into Emet-Selch, I promise. Right now, and with every single game ever since it's been released, I don't know why I like it. It's definitely not the best DPS, but I'm playing Switch Axe. I just like Switch Axe. I like applying the files. I like switching between the axe and the sword mid-fight. It's actually a lot more fluid this game. The unbridled slash or like full charge of that's just sick as hell. It's not just a finisher off your, discharge. What is it called? Some zero discharge. Forget the name. That bow, because bow is broken in every game, so just play bow. I really like insect glaive, and I'm trying to do a shield. Anything in this game. Normally I do sword and shield, but I like the gun lance a little bit in this game. And hunting horn. I've also been a big fan of hunting horn. I like all the weapons. Legitimately, I don't know, Will, if you've ever played a Monster Hunter, but like the weapon you choose is like a character class system in any other game. Like the playstyle is completely different as soon as you pick the weapon. Obviously, there's some similarities between certain weapons, right? Like the great sword, and then maybe like the switch axe great sword. Though switch axe great sword's a little bit quicker. Long blade's good, yeah. Long blade's sweet. Dual blades are sweet. Everything's good. Everything's good. I'm literally just testing through everything because I've watched enough content on the game, and I'm just like, I want to see everything firsthand. At any rate, Emet-Selch. So we're going to be building this on Tapped Out. We have a modified land base. It may or may not change, but I think this is pretty finalized. We're going to be researching our cards on Scryfall, and you can take this deck that is in the description now. If you want to build off of this and or follow along to play test it with us, go to that link. It should be there for you. If it's not working, let me know. But Emmett himself, well, I was going to say, like, why don't you lead the conversation on this one? Because I feel like you really like this guy.
Yeah, so Emmet is 1, a blue and a black for a legendary creature, elder wizard with 2 power and 4 toughness. He has vigilance, and when he enters or attacks, draw a card and discard a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 14 or more cards in your graveyard, transform. The transform side is a avatar with vigilance, 6 power, 6 toughness, and Echoes of the Lost, which says you may cast or you may play cards from your graveyard. Or during your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. If a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it. So, this probably just looks like you could play stuff from your graveyard commander, kind of worse, what's it called? I'm blanking on the name. Worse Underworld Breach in the command zone.
Right.
But here's the fun part. That exile effect is not part of you playing cards from your graveyard. It is a separate effect that is functionally rest in peace.
It's a replacement.
So,
yeah.
So if you cast all of the instants from your graveyard in one go, keep them on the stack, then cast a Chain of Vapor on Emmet, or Hades as his backside is, bouncing him to your hand, then all of those spells on the stack go back to the graveyard. You can replay him. The next turn, you replay all of them again. The next turn, you replay all of them again and again and again. So he can grind, and he can go infinite very easily. The most efficient way is, instead of using a bounce spell, you use a flicker like Essence Flux or like Teferi's Time Twist or something. Because Teferi's Time Twist is usually considered a bad flicker, but because it's slow. But in this deck, we don't care that it's a slow flicker.
Yeah. Exactly what Will said. So it's weird. It's like, I don't know, if you guys have ever stormed off with Yawgmoth's Will in the past, it's essentially like doing that, except this is a lot cleaner. And it's in the CZ. So normally, we like our card advantage effects to be in the form of draw. But what I like about Emet is it requires you to build a specific way, and then obviously it can launch off and storm into specific plays because of the nature of the build, right? The top end of the card is probably going to be most important until we're ready to pop off, because the requirement of 14 or more cards is, I guess, kind of high. Obviously, this is like one of those cheeky things they did, and I guess it makes sense. But 14 is the set or the game rather he's from, so that's why that number's there. It's not just what am I trying to say? They just pull that
aesthetic choice,
right? Do you feel like that's a lot though? That feels like a lot of cards, Will.
14 in the graveyard, it's not too bad considering that we have Surveil, we have a little bit of Mill, we have Discard, we have just playing cards.
Right, so like, I guess like one flicker effect is going to be his ETB plus that flicker effect, right? So there's 2 cards, 2 out of 14. You should get there with your fetch lands, and we will be using fetch lands. You should get there. When is the soonest we're flipping to Hades, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, we're playing just a control deck, because the glory of Emmet is that the way we're probably going infinite is any extra turn spell and any bounce spell or any flicker effect. So the entire rest of our deck is just control pieces and cantrips.
Right.
And for Digital Panda, the cards would be in our graveyard already, but when we get Hades, we can cast all those cards from the graveyard, and before they would touch back into the graveyard, we return Hades to hand, or flicker Hades, which turns back into Emmet, and then everything goes back to the graveyard and doesn't get exiled.
Dralna is much slower. Dralnu? I'll look up Dralnu right now. It's important to note, though, the cards are going to have to be instant speed for the most part, and or we're going to need that Otter, the Otter that gives like our sorceries or non-creature spells flash. That's probably as far as we'll go with effects like that. What Valley Ridge Caller? What's his name?
For the
what's the Otter from Bloomborough that gives
Storm
flash?
Caller,
Valley Ridge Stormcaller. Stormcaller.
Yeah,
I forget the exact name, but
is it
we'll
it might be Flood Caller.
Flood Caller. Yes, Flood Caller for sure. He's riding a wave. That dude. I think we might use him, but that's just like one piece of tech that makes sense with this list for me. For any of the sorcery value pieces, a majority of the cards should be like instance based though, so that we can do what Will's saying. And the issue is those extra turn spells. We can't really put those on the stack and flicker. I guess we need to start with the extra turn, then flicker. Yeah,
Yeah, because we can cast one sorcery speed thing first, and then everything else has to be instants.
right. I guess, I mean, if we, yeah, because I was going to say, like, we can't prime it with like a frantic search to like get lands back or like specific lands back, because a lot of the extra turn spells do require some amount of blue pips. But we'll probably just have a land base. We'll be fine. Let's we're gonna try to work it out. Let's look at Draw New really quick, because I am curious to see the
Draw
similarities.
new, draw new Lich Lord. 3 blue black for legendary creature, zombie wizard. If damage would be dealt to this, sacrifice that many permanents instead. 3/3. Tap target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard has a flashback until the end of the turn, where flashback is equal to the card's cost. So it's a flashback commander. Emmet is slower to set up, effect wise, faster to get out mana wise, but also is heavily more abusable.
Yeah, I think Emmett's gonna be pretty nasty, my guy. Like, I think this deck will be pretty potent. He's quicker to get out, slower to start, but the card quality, not card advantage, the card quality engine of the loot is going to be really nice turn after turn. He's also vigilant, so like the other aspects we're ignoring is that he's a very good blocker for Tymna decks, and he's a very good attacker for his own effect. So we should be able to wheel into like the control magic Will was referring to, just to prolong the game till we can start storming. I see the plan. It just sounds difficult. Yeah, it's one of those things where, we've labeled this as a B5 commander, which would be cEDH. I still believe that this is capable of getting there. It might, aim for the moon, because if you fail, at least you'll land among the stars, right? Anyways, yeah, so we're aiming for the moon right now. He might be a B4 commander, but that's not where we're gonna put him. And you can, with tapped out now, select which. I mean, like, I guess it categorizes these. I don't actually look at other people's decks. Sorry. I just like building them. I really do like building them. I don't look at other people's decks when I'm building a new list too, because I don't want to be influenced by them. So on that note, this is just going to be a blueprint. We're going to be building this for cEDH, obviously. We should probably preface that. It's in the title. If you have a specific strategy or set of play lines you'd like to incorporate, cards you'd like to incorporate, let us know before we start. And let us know during, or let us know after, as this is a VOD. These are all community-based builds. So again, take this deck and do what you will with it. All right. Where do you want to begin, man? Just like flicker effects? Exile, return?
There aren't a lot of flicker effects that
No.
we need to run, because I think that it is a cost reducer. It's what is it, like magnetic theft in Godo, but for our deck. So
Yeah.
I think we can get away with running a few flicker effects, but not too many. I would say maybe the
Essence
2
Flux.
mana or less ones.
Yeah.
So that would be Essence Flux, Planar Planar Incision, Teferi's Time Twist, and Siren's Ruse. Because they have to be instants.
Siren's Ruse is pretty sick. But yeah, these are crucial. We just want to get Emmet on his backside. Or I guess the Doom Lord, whatever the other one's called.
Yeah, Hades.
Hades.
We want to get Hades, and then we want to also reset Hades back to Emmet.
You
So
want to use a Voyager Staff, Will?
no, because that is not an instant.
Icy Prison? Sorry, I'm just looking at dumb shit now. Nope, okay. Mechatan Core. Okay.
I don't think it's going to be too difficult to get the setup going for this deck at the very least, because a large amount of the deck is just going to be control tools that make us want to put stuff into the graveyard. Yeah, we can put Displacer Kitten in there just because every time we cast a card we loot and that fills our graveyard. Also, casting cards would make it so that we flicker Emmet. So Displacer Kitten is coming in here, yes.
Is that the only flicker permanent we want?
I mean, the only other one is like Deadeye Navigator, right? Because the other ones are end-step trigger effects.
Right. Like Conjurer's Closet wouldn't really do the trick. And then I guess if we... No, there's no amount of stacking that would make that work. And obviously the Hull, Breacher, or Breaker, and Tightspout Tyrant don't exactly work the same way we want them to. Those are like the other ones you typically see in those same lists with the Kitten. I think it's just the Kitten.
It does let us draw our whole deck, though, if we wanted to do it that way, and we can just hard cast a Thoracle at that point, because Emmet is ETB loot.
Mm.
I don't think we
Well,
need to go that way, because we're going to have so many different win cons that we can just do the thing.
I mean, Kitty Storm, though. Kitty Storm with what? Like, is there an Isochron line that we're not considering?
Well, with Kitten, it's just play an extra turn spell that triggers Kitten, it flickers Emmet, and then we get the free extra turn spell.
Oh,
Repeat,
yeah.
repeat, repeat. Attack with a 6/6 Vigilance infinite times.
Okay. So Kitty plus extra turn.
Yeah,
What
and
are the
any flicker effect plus extra turn does the thing.
with enough mana, provided we have enough mana, yeah.
Correct.
Um,
And that's like the bottleneck of the deck, but since we are playing extra turn spells, we should be able to get past that bottleneck because we're getting more land drops, which is also why the land count in this deck is higher than average. I think we have 33 lands in the deck.
mhm. High Tide, Bubbling Muck.
No, we do not want temporary mana. We want permanent mana.
Right. And so far as additional turns are concerned, I don't know why when I type this in, I'm not getting.
Extra turn.
Whoops. Let's see. Are there any new ones that I don't know about? Lost Isle Calling. Nope, I don't need that. I think it's just going to be the traditional ones like Time
Yeah.
Walk. See if we can stick that in there without
Any
them
of the ones
complaining.
that do not exile themselves will be good for the deck.
How about Savor the Moment? Skip the untap step that turn. Would that be bad?
Yes, because
Savor
then
the
we don't
moment.
have the mana to keep going.
Savor the moment. That's I've never looked at this card.
There's like one deck that
That's
actually
boring.
wants to use Savor the Moment, and I can't even remember what it is.
Really? Oh, I guess it's something with like. I guess if you're like a Seedborn Muse or some untapper, you'll
It
probably
was
be
something
fine.
like that, yeah. Was it Jorn? I think it was Jorn wanted Savor the Moment.
No repeatable dark rituals or cabal rituals. No, they are repeatable.
Well, yeah, so you can recast them off of Emmet, but I think what he's saying is like, I guess we can. My issue is that we have to, if we wanted to do those to do the extra turn loop, we'd have to play them, let them resolve, they go to exile, and then we play everything else. So
Right.
we could loop them to get extra temporary mana, but then we have to use that temporary mana after flickering Emmet. So it works out weird. It does not work out the way we would want.
Do you just want to throw in 5 of these?
I feel
Like
like
time warp capture and temporal manipulation is probably fine.
yeah. Well, time warp, capture, temporal manipulation, and then I think that we can also add in walk the aeons and part the water veil. Those are all the ones we want. I don't think we want any that cost more than 6. We're not
Yeah,
going
that's
for a
excessive.
time stretch.
And by the way, like if you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, that's a lot of redundancy. Um, what are you going to do if those cards get caught in your hand? The good bit of news is you could just discard them and you don't need to worry about it.
You can just discard them, or you can play them, and
Yeah,
untap all your things and draw a card. It's hitting extra turn spells in this deck is not bad at all because
yeah.
either we're getting another Emmet loot for free, or we're just discarding them to Emmet.
I
So
was yeah. I was thinking temporal trespass kind of works, but like we would screw ourselves over a little bit if we delved anything of
well,
import away.
it exiles itself.
Oh, does it? Yeah, never mind. I can't do that. All right, Emmett, can't get around that one. I think that's it then. Yeah. Let's Beacon of Tomorrows. There's some
Uh,
cute shit you can do with that, but it's too
Self
high.
shuffle. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
we want it
Um,
going to grave.
yeah, I mean the trick you used to do was the Isochron with the tutor, top deck tutor.
Yeah.
It'd be cute, but yeah, we're not going to go that route. All right, well, how does the stream look, by the way? Please let me know if the stream looks healthy, looks good to you. Are there any jitters, stutters? Audio seems good. Visuals look good. Please do let me know because we are using a new streaming software today, streaming tool today, excuse me. Walk
Yeah,
the Eons is in for sure. Wolfsbane.
yes. Walk the Eons is good enough because it's a 6 mana extra turn spell. It's there for redundancy. Pretty much never using that flash. We might use that flashback if we need to fill in our grave and we have the lands to sack, but I really doubt we're ever using the flashback.
So I'm putting Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual. Should we? I don't think we're going to use anything like Culling the Weak or.
I'm kind of even against Cabal Ritual. I don't. I Dark Ritual is there because Dark Ritual is just sick, but
Dark Ritual is
Cabal
Dark
Ritual I feel like is not necessary for the deck.
I think if we get far enough to the point where we can cast a 6 CMC spell, we're probably fine to not run the Cabal Ritual. Like, what do we need the black mana for? I don't disagree with you there. It's really just to like power out Emmet again if Emmet gets eaten alive to help pay for commander attacks. But
That's what we have flickers and bounce spells for because
I
we
know.
can flicker and bounce our own Emmet in response to removal.
All right, let's add our ramp then. I do think Dark Rit is important. I think the ramp we want is going to come by way of rocks.
Yes.
Okay, so Arcane Signet. I'm sorry, this is B5, so we're only limited to anything that's
Whatever
not
we
banned.
want.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So Soul Ring, Manifold to help with a kitten, I guess. I don't know. Manifold's good.
Mana Vault is colorless Dark Ritual.
Yeah, I like that.
It's probably good enough. It can help accelerate ramp. Worst case scenario, we get rid of it. We discard it with Emmet.
I mean, it cheeses out the first extra turn spell. So there's that. All right, Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone. This deck doesn't want. Does this deck want the signets over the tallies or just both?
I think it wants both.
Mox Diamond and sorry. Lotus Petal, Lotus P. Lotus P is good. Mox Opal is probably good in this deck too.
And we can add in Mox Amber just because it's another land we can play.
Yeah, I feel like with the commander here, anything that's like 3 CMC and under, you could maybe consider Mox Opal. And depending on the strategy, there's more headroom.
And here's the useful thing on Emmet. You can discard your you don't have Metalcraft. You can discard Mox Opal if you are already getting like enough mana that you can keep playing stuff out, but you're not near your extra turn stuff. You can discard Mox Amber, and then when you flip Emmet, you replay all of them from the graveyard, and they enter the field. So you can get around those with Emmet just by the sheer power of I can replay them later.
True. Right now I have Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Fellwar Stone, Mox Diamond, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Mox Amber, Chrome Mox. Those all seem good. I'm just thinking of Limdol's Vault, so I'm just going to put it in the deck right now.
The only rock that I may consider, even though it's like kind of bad but good enough-ish here, is maybe Everflowing Chalice, just because it has the diversity of being either a Mind Stone or being a bigger rock when we need more mana later.
Yeah,
that is a maybe for me, but
I mean, I like Everflowing Chalice. You could do that off of your Mana Vault. Hell, like I'll build up I guess like essentially a slow burn Mana Crypt off of a Everflowing Chalice in that. Jeweled Amulet to pocket some mana. Jeweled Amulet, if you guys don't know, you need to like mark the type of mana you put into it, and then the following turn you could leverage that mana. It's a piggy bank basically. So it's essentially it's a little. It could be a little slow sometimes, but like I don't think this deck cares too much. Do you like Jeweled Amulet or too slow?
Jeweled Amulet is usually used for more explosive decks. If you're trying to like grind stuff out, usually anything is better than Jeweled Amulet. So I don't like it for this deck. I love it as a card. I don't like it for this deck. Also, Withdraw. That's a return a creature to its owner's hand, then return another creature
it's quirky
to its owner's hand unless its controller pays 1.
It's quirky for sure.
I don't think we need that. I think we're gonna run the usually considered good bounce effects.
Yeah, like Into the Flood Maw and
weirdly enough, Into the Flood Maw only targets opponent stuff.
Oh shit! So just Chain of Vapor, and I guess Gush. No, wait. Which is the one that bounces? That's the draw one. Which is the one that bounces your shit? It's I can remember the art.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah. Snap. Snap is
Do we
a
use
free
that though?
one. We can also do like Into the Royal and stuff. I can look up good bounce effects.
Do we
Very
run
quick.
Snap?
Yeah, we run Snap.
Return target creature to its owner's hand, untap 2 lands. So, like, we want to do this. Yeah. Yeah, we can use Snap. I normally Snap, like, in the days of Dockside, Snap was there for that. Snap was there for that. Speaking of untapped lands, it's really just Snap and Frantic Search. Am I mistaken?
Yeah. For the good untap effects, there's the counter spell that untaps lands. There isn't like any one cost one. Twiddle is the one cost one, but it does nothing other than untap a land. Um, let's see. Yeah, Runaway Together is one that I was thinking of because it's a return 2 creatures to their owner's hands. They have to have different controllers. So we bounce Emmett and something else.
Do you want something like that? Run away together is
The
that's
the only issue with Runaway Together is we can't loop it because once we bounce all of our opponent's creatures, that's it. We can't cast Runaway Together anymore.
is
I would love that actually, but thinking about it, I don't think we can.
well, I mean, is there another mass bounce effect we could be leveraging that would work?
Not on the cheap side. We can run straight up unsummon and alchemist retrieval. Unsummon and alchemist retrieval are fine.
Well, how many of these effects do we actually need?
Enough that we can find them consistently, but I'd mainly just run ones that are usable enough. That's
So
why I was thinking Blink of an Eye and Into the Royal, because they bounce a permanent, so it has higher utility.
Blink of an Eye and Into the Royal are much better.
Yeah.
We'll probably get rid of Unsummon, though.
Unsubstantiate, that's a good one. Bounce a spell or a creature.
Unsub is 2, right? Blue and a generic?
Yep.
I knew there's a good promo for it. We're going to use that promo one. All right, Will, we've added our mana. Wait, actually, what's the tally called again? Talisman of Dominance?
I think it's Talisman of Dominance.
Why do I know that? Why do I know that one? Oh, I think I might have pulled it from Ether Drift. That's why. Okay. This seems like a good start. Let me save and continue just to make sure it goes through. All right, 35 more cards to add. So we'll Sire. Damn, there's some really cool art for unsummoning. Not gonna lie. Just look up the word unsummon. There's 3.
Nice.
Sophoglio, you've got Adam Rex. And then we have the instant Ron Spencer. Wow, only the best artists work on an unsummon. Okay, so we have our ramp.
Add in the general good stuff, like we can do Tainted Pact, Demonic Consultation, Thorkel.
Oh, yeah, let's just add that really quick.
Because why not?
Yeah, we're one of those basic bitches.
And then from here, we add in the good tutors and then all of the counter spells known to man.
Yeah, Demonic Consultation.
Like the couple removal pieces that we need.
Yeah, let's do our good tutors first. I'll put Wishclaw Talisman. Not the best one, but it's a good one. Vampiric Tutor. Demonic Tutor. Imperial Seal. Mystic Tutor. Mystical Tutor? Mystical Tutor. And then while I'm over here, we're just going to do the Mystic Remora.
Heuristic Study. We also should probably add in bird. What's the bird called? Leisure Shredder.
Bird. Oh, you just want more? You just want more ways to fill your grave? Oh, yeah. Shit, the new special guest version. Hell yes. Okay.
Speaking of good ways to fill your grave, consider and Thought Scour.
I like that. Thought Scour. Thought Scour. Is Thought Scour one word?
I think it's 2.
It's 2. How about an episode where you try to find the best cEDH without Yeah, without game changers. Yeah, a
Saya.
game changerless bracket 5. Oh,
I mean, people have already started brewing bracket 1 cEDH. Like
really?
the rules of bracket 1, even though it's not the spirit of bracket 1.
I like that. We could try that.
What is it? I think the bombs in bracket 1 cEDH are Magda. I think it's like Magda, Old Stick Fingers, and then pretty much any search commander. And then anything that can use Jace Demonic Consultation, because that is a completely legal bracket 1 combo.
Yeah,
Malcolm. Malcolm is also another really gross one because Glinthorn. Glinthorn is technically not an infinite.
yeah. Honestly, I like the idea of pushing the boundaries of the lower brackets, 100%. But like that's a B1 that could punch up to B5 in some cases.
Yeah.
So why not?
Because
Um,
Magda is weirdly enough one of the fastest bracket 1 decks because it's like, oh yeah, I'm the deck that's running more dorks than green.
100% though on doing a build like that, DOS. That would be actually kind of fun. If you guys have suggestions for legendaries you'd like to cover, let us know. But if we want to do a B1 list, like pushing it, that'd be fun. We can pick one of the commanders you mentioned or something new. All right. And I mean like from Ether Drift or Final Fantasy. Not that I don't know if there's anything that could be pushed. But bracket 1 says limited tutors. That is not really how the bracket system should be used.
So bracket 1 says limited tutors, which means 3 or less tutors. If your Magda is like the only tutor in your deck, you still can find whatever you need in your entire deck. For stuff like Zur once again, you're not using any tutors there really outside of your commander. The only decks that need tutors are the decks that need to specifically find Labman and Tainted Pact. But Old Stick Fingers is considered like decent because he is not a tutor in the command zone. So depending on the pile that you go for, you can run 3 tutors in the deck that have nothing to do with your commander or your setup. But yeah, it goes against the spirit of bracket 1 because the whole point of bracket 1 is that you're making a janky, fun, dumb deck that is not designed to win. It's designed to be like, look, I made Lapter Tribal.
All right, we're gonna take some cards out of this, but we're gonna expedite this a little bit. So I copy pasted. I don't know if this helps at all, actually. An offer you can't refuse. Born Upon a Wind. Will.
We don't really need Born Upon a Wind. We're running near pure instants outside of like 2 tutors, or yeah, 2 tutors and then extra turns.
You want Cyclonic Rift in here?
Yeah, Psych Rift is just good.
Do you want Deadly Rollick in here?
Yeah, and from here we just throw in all of the good interaction package. So like Force of Will, Cyclonic Rift, Fierce Guardianship.
So we did a copy and paste trick here. So I'm just getting rid of some cards. Fel the Profane, we have, but we're not using that version. Flusterstorm, Force of Despair. This is from our previous deck. I highly recommend you check out Y'shtola, but she uses all of this shit.
Yeah, we don't run Force of Despair.
I think I added Frantic Search already. Yeah, I did. Okay. Some of these cards are white, so bear with me. Into the Flood Maw, we don't want. Limdol's Vault.
I mean, we might just as removal, but we don't as a combo piece.
Right. Mental Misstep, Mindbreak Trap, Misdirection is probably outie. Although I really do like Misdirection as a card. I do think you could be leveraged in more decks, frankly. There's good things to misdirect, like Appear into the Abyss. I know it feels like far-fetched. It's never going to happen. It does happen. Pact of Negation, Will? It could actually pop off.
Yes. Yeah, because we can cast it from our graveyard for free. So if we have like a second bounce or flicker effect, we theoretically have another piece of protection every single time we go for it. Or we just play it once, counter a thing, and let it get exiled. So I do like Pact.
Do you want to fool with Snuff Out?
No, I don't think we need it.
So far as like removal is concerned, though, like is there anything you specifically want?
Cut down. Cut down is pretty good.
Just cut down.
Yeah, I like cut down.
Because like I guess the one thing that could stomp us is just having an early Drannith Magistrate. So like I just want any way to kill that. Should we
I mean,
leave a
most of our deck is bounced, so I think we're fine against Stranded Magistrate.
I guess so. And we just wait till it rounds to our turn. The thing is, it's at the beginning of our upkeep, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What's the
If
MDFC bounce? I think it is Sink into Stupor. I forget.
Sink into Stupor does bounce, but it bounces an opponent's permanent or
Right.
spell.
Right. Okay, let's save and see what this looks like. Are there any sorcery spells we're missing? I have Capture, Demonic, Imperial, Part the Water Veil, Temporal, Time Warp, Walk the Aeons. I mean, there've got to be better sorceries that we're missing. Am I crazy?
I will quickly do a general sorcery search.
Personal Tutor?
Maybe, but we should be fine with the amount that we have already, because between looting, milling, and other things, I think we're finding our stuff.
Will,
enough.
we have 8 slots in this deck, and that is with all of the interaction put in there.
Gitaxian Probe. It's just a free draw, free put a card into the grave.
You want Gitaxian Probe? Okay.
Yeah.
I like Git Probe. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge. Oh, you know what we should totally be putting in the deck?
No.
Entomb an Unmarked Grave.
We don't need those. I think those will.
I looked, I saw Unmarked Grave, and I'm like, wait.
Is there another one?
Entomb and Unmarked Grave are the two. There's also Buried Alive, but only hits creatures.
Kidding. Oh, Valley Ridge Floodcaller. I do want it. Valley Floodcaller. I'm putting it in, Will.
So you can cast that Imperial Seal at instant speed when we're taking infinite turns.
Here's my thing, man. Like, if you are shy of doing it, you can Valley. Let's see here. If for whatever reason they have some sort of hate for the grave, targeted or otherwise, like you could Valley Ridge, cheat in the Imp Seal, flicker the Emmet, draw and discard, play the card you just drew, right? If it's in your list, like if it's a redundancy or something. There's shit you can do being able to do everything at instant speed, but
may I say though, you can also just play the Imperial Seal and flicker the Emmet.
Well, I mean, this is all provided that's how we sequence things, sure.
We may want Windfall though. Just a generally good way to fill your grave.
Right. I think I put Opposition Agent. Okay, so
Yeah,
we're gonna put
Opposition
some
Agent and Doffy.
Orcish Bowmasters.
Yeah.
Orcish Bowmaster. Opposition Agent. Dothy Voidwalker.
Let's go.
Except for Dothy.
Yeah, sad.
If Dothy Voidwalker had Flash, would he be more playable? Again, I swear to God, I take him out of every list I put him in. Oh, are there more Ledger Shredder-esque creatures we should be
Intuition. Leveraging? Intuition. That is the good one that we forgot about.
Intuition's good. Is Dimir... No, there's not really a cheeky way to... Without Underworld Breach, it's like you don't really want to just load your grave like that. Although we have someone who can leverage our grave like that. What's the one Brain Freeze? I mean, like, can this deck Dimir Brain Freeze itself and then, like... Can we not Brain Freeze ourselves and then just play Thassa's Oracle?
Theoretically, because also you can cast Brain Freeze, let all the copies resolve, then with the original Brain Freeze on the stack, then you can play more stuff from your graveyard. So we can do weird sequence abuse with Brain Freeze.
This is weird. And so normally, Brain Freeze is reserved for cards that function with Underworld Breach, but I do kind of like it here. I'm sorry, I did skip something of value. Orcish Bowmaster, Opposition Agent, Dothy Voidwalker, Intuition, Brain Freeze. We were talking about those cards.
Stuff like Leisure Shredder.
Yeah.
I'm looking through like draw discard effects right now to try to see if
there's a
any
4-mana Entomb creature and a 6-mana demon as well.
Oh, Intuition, is that the thing?
No, we added intuition. We're at 100 cards right now, but I like options. Am I crazy? We were just. I know we're missing something because we this is maybe the quickest we've built a deck on the channel. That
I mean,
feels.
because it's so straightforward. It's play Dimir good stuff and then play a couple extra turns.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I mean, it looks really good. Do you want like Toxic Deluge in there?
Uh, Potentially. It's just a good wipe.
Right. Like we don't really have anything to help clean slate the board. And
We
he's a
don't need
4.
to clean slate the board. We have 200 turns to cast removal from our graveyard over and over and over again.
I mean, we're pretending we're gonna hit it easily. I don't know that.
I
Oh,
mean,
you
like,
know what?
we're never...
Honestly, Brain Freeze is just good to get the grave filled. Frankly, actually, I just like that for Emmett. Like we'll hit 14 pretty easily with that.
Yeah, that's straightforward. Just, yeah, that does get there.
Lear can be very good.
I pronounce that liar just
Liar.
for the Star Wars meme.
I just rewatched those. I rewatched the first two. The third one's really good. That one has all the good CG.
Um,
Disciple of the Drowned, 5 mana. 5 mana is a little tall order. A little tall order for me. Here's the thing though, like, did we want to fuck with any sort of reanimate shenanigans or no? Not really.
I mean, we can put straight up reanimate in there just for the sake of we can steal other people's good stuff. Actually, we don't even need specifically reanimate. Emmett doesn't care about instants and sorceries. He just cares that they are cards.
So what do you prefer? I mean, reanimate's the best. Like, we don't really care about our life like that. We're not going to run Ad Naz or Necro. Or do we want to run Necro in here for any particular reason? It fucks our shit up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, we could pay into Necro and then bounce Necro on end step and then discard stuff to graveyard. Do the Emmett stuff, but by bouncing Necro. So Necro could insta-fill our graveyard if we wanted to do it like that.
We don't really. So yeah, also, I the logic of like Entomb Reanimate just being going hand in hand together, but we don't really have a good target. Like
we could just say Roz and then do the Razaketh Oracle line.
Just to have it.
Yeah.
So beyond just having Thoracle, you're thinking it wouldn't hurt to just have a separate line to get the Thoracle, and what that adds 2 cards.
Do we have?
We're full up now. Let me add the Razaketh line.
We can keep it as it is for now, with the acknowledgement that if we don't feel like we get there consistently, we can add Razaketh as a backup line.
Well, but what is this in my pocket? Do we want the One Ring?
I'm fine with it. We're playing a kind of grindy game plan. It's probably good.
Is the One Ring on the Game Changer list?
Yes.
Fuck me. God.
Your Oswald One Ring deck doesn't work. It's not bracket 1, Patrick.
I sell everything in it and I move on with life. I mean, the deck is like...
What's funny, you can play your old Oswald deck as bracket 1 and it's probably fine.
Honestly, it would wreck. And like I know the strategy. So it wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't want to jump into a bracket 1 and just smash people though.
Yeah, let's see. You have like Entomb, or not Entomb, you have an Enlightened Tutor, and then Oswald, and there's not another search effect in your deck, I don't think. So if you take out the One Ring, the One Ring and Fast Mana, that's what it would be. Yeah, you'd need to take out the One Ring and Fast Mana, and then you have a bracket 1 Oswald.
That's not bad.
I mean, you also probably take out the clocks and everything, but
No. You gotta build towards something, you know what I mean? All right. Wolfsbane. I don't know about deck reviews. Would you want to do a deck review?
I mean, like, we can do like just a game in chat where we just go have people send in decks and we give like quick reviews and like recommendations on things.
You mean an actual gathering of Magic?
Indeed. We gather decks so that we can discuss Magic.
So would the segment be called Magic the Actual Gathering? Please, come on, come all. Submit your decks. We'll give you our 2 cents. I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, we could. It's just it should be like a little research hour, right?
Yeah.
Wolf, I've not thought about it, but you made me think about it right there. All right, well, reanimate. Let's look at the targets. We have Raza, Displacer Kitten. Displacer Kitten's pretty good. Hydroelectric Specimen, which is not one. Oppo, Orcish, Ledger, Dothy, Dossus Oracle. Okay, so do we need reanimate in the deck, or do we need Razaketh in the deck?
So reanimate can target opponent's stuff too. That's the major draw, where it's not just our stuff, but it's any decent thing that anybody else has.
Why no Necropotence? We can talk about that in a second, Tim.
So Necropotence can work. The thing with Necros, we want our graveyard filled. Necro makes so we can't discard to hand size. We theoretically could use Necropotence.
We could. I don't know that we need it, but so yes, generally speaking, I'll throw this in any deck that contains black. I do think that this is counterintuitive to our deck because it does fuck up our leader's ability, commander's ability. Just like so, once you place Necropotence on the field, your game plan completely changes. Like it didn't really matter what you were trying to do; you just pour your life into this and like risk it all, and that's fun. And I think it's logical for some decks. I'm not sure it's the right route for this deck. I don't know, but legitimately, you could have it in there. We did just talk about it for a second prior, Tim, to your question. I kind of just want to pitch the Reanimate and Razaketh for now and just say, hey, we thought about it. Because I also don't like that. I feel like with the tutors, like we could kind of just plainly get to, if I have one or the other in my, generally this is how it works. If I have Demonic Consultation in my hand and then other shit and nothing amounts to a win, but one of them's a tutor or like a Limdol's Vault, I'll Limdol's Vault for the Thassa's Oracle. Wham bam combo. Do I have a counterspell in this hand?
Combo plan.
Wham bam combo plan. 2 more cards. Will, what do we got to cut? This shouldn't be too easy.
I'm going to pull up the list.
Everything's looking pretty kosher. Pretty good. We got a lot of instant speed spells. We'll probably have to take a gander at those. But Part the Water Veil, do we have one too many? Do we have one too many extra turns?
Blasphemy.
I don't know that we need 5. Am I crazy to just want to keep the 5 cost ones?
So let's see. It's a capture, temporal, and then time warp. So do we want to go from 5 to 3?
We've got so many toots. We'll just entomb one of them.
Yeah, it's having them lets us ramp to be able to get to the mana we need to do the combo. So I like having multiple, but I also understand not wanting multiple.
Or how many do we need? How many do we really want in the deck? I would say like 3 to 4 is a good count.
If you want to remove one, that should be fine.
I don't know which one I want to remove, though. One of them turns into a land will.
One of them animates a land.
The buyback sacrifice 3 lands, though. That fills our grave quite a bit, but then it also takes us a few steps back.
Yeah, it's in a weird spot where I'm like, I don't hate it, but I also don't like it. So,
We'll get rid of Walk the Aeons then. All right, there's one more card we need to cut.
Yeah, I'm looking at that instance really quick just to see if there's anything that is goofy in there.
Why did we put Force of Will in the deck?
I know, right? It's so unplayable.
We can get rid of that. Actually, it could be the card we pitch to another card. How about that?
Indeed.
We'll keep it then. Fell the Profane. Fell the Profane.
It's a land.
Deadly
We can cut
Relic.
one of our lands if we want, because we are still pretty high on lands.
Oh, you want
We're at
like a
30.
land? You want to cut a land?
Either a land or a modal. If you want to cut like Boggart Trawler, that might be fine.
Whoa, 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 whoa! What the fuck did Boggart Trawler do?
He's the worst modal that we have. Out of the four modals, I think the other ones are probably better.
Exile target player his graveyard. What if there's another Emmet? And we play the
Then we high five him when he wins, because he's doing a let's see.
No, we play our
He's
3-1
doing this, and then
Trawler.
we're coming back down with the Emmett Claw and high fiving his Hades.
God, I feel like if I was in the world of Magic, I would be a Boggart Trawler.
The way that Emmett is holding his hand is like what people do when they do like the sarcastic slow clap of like,
Yeah, yeah, what a dick. I don't know nothing about this guy. If you guys are aware of who Emet-Selch is in the world of Final Fantasy, is he a dick? Can you confirm? Boggart Trawler, fine, Will, have your way.
we have Dothy. Dothy is better, Boggart Trawler.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I guess you're right. All right, Boggart Trawler. It's been swell. It's been fun. Will, that's 100 cards. Okay, guys, I'm gonna say this plainly. This is the best Emet-Selch Unsundered deck you'll find on the internet right now. Trust me. You know how I know?
Of course. Trust me, bro.
It took 30 minutes. No. This is our quickest build. Guys, if you're here for the whole build, thanks for joining us. If you would like to help the channel out, you can leave this video with a like so other people can watch it. And I'll encourage you to tell me what you'd like to change with this deck. So, as I said before, this is just a blueprint. Obviously, we may have missed some things, but the general strategy here is going to be play Element, play a control game, basic control game, fill up our grave all along the way. Maybe you entomb an extra turn while doing so.
The real graveyard is the friends we made along the way.
Exactly. You understand. So basically, once you've built up or have massed that grave to do the flip side of Emmet, the Hades thing, start with your extra turn, play any additional interaction or spells you need to keep it alive. And again, up until this point, you've likely used a lot of control magic to bounce and or counterspell things. So those free spells are very likely in your grave, right? Then initiate the extra turn. Like Will was saying before, you could swing with Hades as part of the package if you just want to kill them with extra turns and beats, because it should only be 21 damage. And or, we can find ourselves into a Thassa Oracle situation that could be very well in our grave, which is fine. The only thing that really hangs us up is anything that would stop us from casting spells from our grave, anything that's stopping Emmet from hitting the field, and anything that would exile our grave, because we don't have any grave recovery. But because even with Underworld Breach, like reanimation and playing from your graveyard isn't really something that people mainline removal or stacks or interaction for, I feel like we'll probably get by just fine. So we're going to have to operate, obviously, under a few assumptions when we're playtesting this deck. It will be a little bit slower, but I'm curious to see how far we can take it. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Oh, this hand actually looks kind of good. I'm going to add Necropotence to the sideboard, just so that we know it is definitely a card you can use. That's the last change. By the way, if you're picking up singles, use the link in the description. It should work. Just like this stream. Dude, I am so happy with this stream quality. So far as I can tell, it looks pretty decent. I'm excited for that. Okay. Let's check this out. So I've got Force of Negation, Demonic, Tutor, Witchclaw Talisman, Mindbreak, Trap, 2 lands, and a Mana Vault. Is this a good hand? It looks kind of good.
It's not too bad.
No. I think we pitched the Mindbreak Trap.
We can pitch the Mindbreak Trap, or we can just hardcast the Mindbreak Trap and enough stuff happens and find something else for Force of Negation.
Out of the 4 times I play tested Marin in pools, no one has had graveyard removal. Exactly, Wolf. So it's just one of those things. I'm not really sure why people don't mainline that kind of hate. Like we are technically with Dothy Voidwalker, but it's really not necessarily even there for that. Although it does help, it does help quite a bit. It's just one of those things. I don't No, why? Why don't we care about people's graveyards, Will?
Because most people don't use their graveyards. If you look at a common cEDH decks right now, the main game plan is play the deck. Even like Thorkel, the Modern Constellation, they don't care about their grave. In
Not
fact,
even
you care about their grave more than they care about their grave because you can endurance back their grave after they do the Thorkel combo to mess with them.
right, because typically, you'll have 4 or 5 colors, and then you'll do Savine's Wreck after your Intuition pile, and then you'll do the Underworld Breach, and then you'll do the blah, blah, blah. Obviously, having a loaded grave is important for that play line. Why we don't interact with it, I, I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said about that, but I wanted to keep this. Maybe we're rewarded. If you're looking, we do have 3 artifacts with the Mox Opal, right? With the Witchclaw Tally. Do we drop the Misty Rainforest? Add 1 to our 14 count?
I like holding our fetches for the Surveil land if we can. If we don't plan on playing Vault turn 1, then we can do Misty Rainforest for the Surveil land.
I agree with that. Is there a reason to play a turn 1?
Turn 1 Vault? I mean, just setting up Vault, Mox Opal, and then playing Wishclaw next turn to have Opal be online, maybe. But
yeah, let's play the Mox Opal before like a Vexing Bauble or some shit comes down, and we could do Command Tower into Mana Vault. That's fine, and just have that set up. Yeah, next turn.
Yeah, all right.
Get Probe, Will. The card of your dreams.
Indeed. Let's throw it out and draw it down.
I'm not going to track our life like Y'shtola.
We don't care about our life total in this deck.
No, not like that. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go back and edit Y'shtola so that she is at the helm of that deck, so you're looking at it proper. But I'll do that after this. Sorry, draw a card. Offer you can't refuse. Okay, so we'll Misty Rainforest here. I mean, technically, we have our commander right now if we want to. Do we have it 2 ways, actually? Could I do Wishclaw Talisman and then have that online? I mean, I guess we could technically play out Wishclaw Talisman and use Opal with the Misty Rainforest with the leftover generic to play Emmet. Is that crazy if we just go ass out right now and just have... I
mean, it's turn 2. Should be
okay,
fine.
Sure. Okay, so we're gonna have to skip on the Surveil land for now, but we'll go for Underground Sea. Underground Sea. Shuffle. So we'll tap here, float 2 generic. 1 goes into the tally. We'll use the Underground Sea, and then we'll do a black, a blue, and another generic to play Emmet. He ETBs. We'll draw a card. Let me shuffle again. Sorry, not to roll the die. Balan's Tomb. Ancient Tomb. Do you want the double generic, Will?
Wait, for the... I'm looking at the previous turn. Did you tap Mana Vault for 1? Or...
Tap Mana Vault for 3.
Yeah, so... that was with Emmet. So, Blonde's Tomb in hand, and then we have a...
ETB, yeah. ETB.
Wait,
ETB off Emmet, we draw a card, we discard a card. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, but so we tapped Command Tower, Underground Sea, and Opal to play Emmet. Why is Vault tapped?
We tap Vault.
Oh no, yeah, it was for Wishclaw. That's right. Sorry,
right? Which activates the Mox Opal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm dumb. So we have a 1 floating.
We could discard the yes, we do, which is Wishclaw Talisman mana. So we'll talk about that in a second. But
yeah.
Do we keep the Balan's Tomb or no? I feel like it's the pitchable card from this hand, although there's we're not assured a land drop next turn. So I mean, like we could keep it if we want, but it's double generic. It's really just going to go towards untapping Mana Vault, if I'm being honest with you.
Let's look at our mana right now. So we have...
It's not good.
2, 3. We can have
colors.
5 if we have Ancient Tomb.
The tomb is good for... Yeah, the tomb is good for our extra turns. Sorry.
If we get 1... like a Mana Rock off of a Talisman, we go up 1 more. So that's going to be 6. So we'll have 6 mana if we find like a Mana Rock off of a Talisman.
We need City of Traders in this deck, by the way.
We do not, because we don't want to sacrifice it and then go down lands.
it will go into our trash to add to the 14 count, or it could be the last land we play before we go into our extra turns.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's just like it allows us the double generic without the life loss, because we can't. Well, we could probably race them down before. I don't know that
well. If we chain together like 8 extra turns, that's 16 life, and then we probably hit 2 lands in that time.
Oh, is he? Oh, never mind. Sorry. He's not lifelink or anything. Hades. He's. You're just saying 16 life in damage.
Yeah, like we lose 16 life by using Ancient Tomb for 8 turns, and then we probably drew and played 2 lands over those 8 turns.
I'm sorry. So I'm imagining I'm the player sitting here thinking of which card to discard, and I've took like 3 minutes. Which card do you want to discard? You want to discard Mind Break Trap? It's the weakest of the lot.
Unless it's probably the weakest right now.
Right, unless someone's going to like really, really pop off.
If they do, we have Force of Negation, so we're fine on that.
Yeah, okay, so we'll discard that. Do we want to give someone Wishclaw Talisman? What is the worst? What is the worst that can happen, Will?
Somebody tries to like Oracle Consultation us, but we have Force of Negation to try to stop that, and other players to try to stop that.
If we Wishclaw Talisman, what do we grab? Extra turn? We're not there yet. We have 3 cards in grave, by the way.
We're gonna go down mana by doing that because we're getting rid of Wishclaw, so Opal isn't online anymore. So we'd have to find like a rock.
Oh, ooh. Yeah, that's awkward. We still own it. We just don't control it. Yeah.
Yeah. We can just hold Wishclaw for right now. That's probably the safest option.
All right, good chat. Let's pass. Yes. Are you done with your turn yet? Yeah, no, my turn. Air card there, Arcane Signet. You literally just
spoke it into existence.
You literally did. I was gonna say wished, but we didn't really wish anything into existence. All right, so we're gonna go Balan's Tomb. I'll crack the tomb, see what's inside.
Well, before Balan's Tomb, do we want to just swing with Emmet to loot and see if we want to discard Balan's Tomb? Probably not.
We'll see. I'll swing our 2/4 Vigilance. I'm just signifying it. We'll do the thing. I'm going to leave those out just in case that remains the same. A Mana Confluence. I still like Balan's Tomb here.
Yeah, Balan's Tomb is better.
But I don't think
is probably the discard because we have all of our pips right now, so it is probably our weakest land.
Yeah, I kind of want to hold at least one or the other. I think we could go DT though this turn. Let's drop the Confluence. Sorry, we'll drop the Confluence. Balan's Tomb into Dimir's Signet. Do we want to like up the Signet to just DT for something? And then hold the. I mean,
we can just DT to find an extra turn spell.
Am I crazy? I feel like I kind of want like Brain Freeze or something right now. I want to dump. I just want to dump my graveyard. Into my graveyard.
How many cards do we have in grave? Because webcam
4. Right? It's 4. It's 4. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll is there a good way to keep a count for you guys? I'll just do that.
Think we're turboing into filling our grave in any real way because Brain Freeze is going to mill like probably 6 by itself. Windfall might be the best way to fill our right now.
Well, Windfall it's only going to dump next turn to 3 total. It's not like a proper wheel. Well, in the sense that we don't have a flush hand, and then someone drops Orcish Bowmaster. Emmett dead.
Monic is going to get us up to 5. If we get an extra turn spell, we're going to swing with Emmet, get the extra turn spell into the graveyard, and then we'll be able to swing with Emmet again next turn. So we're going to go up by 4 more.
How hard can we link Brain Freeze plays? Like if we use Talisman to get Brain Freeze instead, can we push on that following turn to fill up our grave? We'd start with DT.
Do you know what the actual play might be instead of getting like anything? Getting all of it with Intuition. So we can't grab Brain Freeze, but we can grab turn spell, a bounce spell, and then like something else that they probably don't want in our grave.
Are we demonic tutoring for an Intuition right now? Is that what you're saying?
It fills our graveyard. Intuition gets 3 cards into our graveyard in one go and sets up our combo.
Okay. Do we like put Frantic Search in that pile just so they give us the Frantic Search? We need like one extra turn.
They're probably not going to give us the Frantic Search. They're probably giving us the Flicker.
Okay, so we get 1 Essence Flux, 1
Capture.
Capture, and then what's the third card? A counter spell. What are you gonna give? What are you gonna give us?
Probably another extra turn spell, just because we may not want to draw extra turn spells. We want to find ways to fill up our graveyard here.
Okay. So we are playing the DT. I'll use the Opal to filter the Dimir Signet. Let's DT for Intuition. I don't know. It feels so weird. Intuition is instant speed, mind you, but we don't have the mana to rock it off turn, so we're just holding. We're just holding. All right, we're kind of low on hand. Should we have just gotten Mystic Remora? Like, what's wrong with us? Like, should we have gotten something?
Actually, the correct play here is find Demonic Consultation and then Thoracle on a
for the
wish and then win.
Yeah,
that is the correct play.
Wait, I want to do the Emmet thing.
Let's do the Emmet thing.
Yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, exactly what Will said. Like we there's a better play line here, but I kind of want to do the Emmet thing. All right, so we grab Intuition. Let's say we have to use an offer you can't refuse off turn. God, I'd like to do it on myself. Okay, let's take turn. Boop. Frantic Search, dude. I'm just wishing shit into existence left and right here. Do we start with Emmet, or do we just go into Frantic Search just to see what we see?
Shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter, but okay, we'll swing with Emmet, and then we'll draw Fell the Profane.
Frantic Search is a ritual if we do it right, so it's probably best to Emmet first.
Fell the Profane, good sir. Yeah, we're gonna want to Intuition and then Frantic Search with Frantic Search mana. Fell the Profane is another land for us, though. But I don't really want it over anything else in my hand right now, although Force of Negation is kind of dead. We're so low on hand that Force of Negation might not have another card. And I would rather just hit the land here. Is that weird?
Well, really quick, how many cards do we have in grave?
6.
Okay, so we have 6. Intuition is going to get 3 more into our graveyard. Frantic Search is going to also get 3 more into our graveyard. 3. So we're going to be at 12 with just Intuition and Frantic Search.
Force of Negation will be equally playable from our trash.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We are very close to flipping.
I know. So that we're at 7 count. We're at 7 count. How about this? I'll put it at the top. My other life gauge will be at 7. Okay. So that's our trash.
The border is cutting off the counter.
No, you can see it. You should be able to see it. I'm okay. So I'll play this as our land per turn. Actually, that's stupid. No, I will just start with Frantic Search, I think.
Yeah.
So let's do this. We'll tap here, and here.
We can tap the Ancient Tomb and then float the mana off of something else.
It's gonna be blue. I think it's blue. Oh! I mean, I'm going to use all the lands. I just want to get the colors. I'm floating a blue right now.
Yep.
So draw 2, right? Yeah, draw 2, then discard 2. We have Planar Incision.
That's our flicker.
Yeah, that's 1 flicker. It could go right in the trash. Right now, it could go right in the trash.
We can flicker Emmet with that to fill our graveyard and get to 14 at instant speed. So
Fell the Profane goes in the trash then, and then I think we keep the Swamp also in the trash. I hate to say it. We're so low on hand. Okay, so I do think that going for a Remora or a 6 Study would have been advisable, but that's okay. It's okay. We're going to get there.
We win next turn.
So we are at 10 Engrave. Ashiok Dream Render.
That's the opponents can't search, and you can exile people's graveyards and make some people mill. It lets us mill, and it makes us exile opponents' graves. I actually do like that.
It's not a bad idea, by the way. Yeah.
So
Well, let's Tim. We'll incorporate that in a second. I want to get this playthrough done, and then we'll try a run with Ashiok in it. So how much mana do we have? We have 1 blue floating. Do we want to leverage that blue for anything? I mean, we could just do Planar Incision now off of the Dimir Signet, and then, draw discard.
Yep.
Okay, so boop. Planar Incision comes back in with a +1/+1 counter for what it's worth, and
draw discard.
Capture. Wow.
Well, we can put that in grave. We literally don't need the intuition except for the fact that it's going to fill our grave up now. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, we're at 15 though, so this is perfect. I think it's just like 3 counter spells. Or what's the value? Well, okay, we
We
have
have
counters.
15 engraved. We have 15
Yeah,
engraved right now, with
we have
even without
12.
intuition.
We have 12. When we intuition, we'll have intuition plus the 2 that don't go to our hand,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At this point, we probably just intuition for all counter spells.
that's fucking crazy. Pardon my French. The French, they curse so much. Yeah, yeah, we just pass. There's no reason for us to do anything. We just need to make sure that we have 15 before our upkeep. So yeah, just pass, and then we'll be like, oh yeah, oh I'll help, I'll help. Oh yeah, we can't lose here. I'll do this. I'll do intuition. Um, do that. Intuition for counter spells. I mean, what are the counter spells that we can play right now? I guess it's like the Swan Song. I don't
Swan
really.
Song, Mental Misstep, and then Flusterstorm.
Flusterstorm. I think.
Pact of Negation. Pact of Negation is probably good enough because we're going to be comboing off.
Right. Which one would you give me? Pact, right?
Probably. Well, let's say we do this with somebody trying to combo off. So we say, "Hey, guy who wants to have me stop this."
Oh yeah, give me the Flusterstorm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just just put this on the
Yeah,
stack.
let's say Flusterstorm. Yeah, like give me the Flusterstorm. It's the most common thing to not get counterspelled. So they give us Flusterstorm, and then we discard
Everything else.
the Pact of Negation, or we mill the Pact of Negation in the Swan Song.
So that puts us at 16 engraved now. All right, so we take our turn. Next turn. Blink of an eye went to hand. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If the spell was kicked, draw a card. Okay, so
Untap.
why do we need Blink of an Eye again?
It's a way that we can bounce Emmet instead of just doing a flicker. We can probably cut some of the bad bounce effects to add in more tech.
I think Blink of an Eye for Ashiok.
Yeah.
I would like Ashiok as well.
Probably Unsummon for Ashiok. Unsummon is kind of worse.
Give us audience. Give us a tech card that you'd like to see in the list. I think that there is room. So we could shave some of we'll keep the flickers, but we'll shave some of the return to hand. I think Blink of an Eye and Unsummon, yes, can come out. I think Ashiok Dream Render should come in because we're on turn 5 and we're flipping, but I think we can get there a little bit sooner with some more tech to put us there. So any surveil, form of self-mill, holler. Okay.
Yeah, there's like 1 mana mill 5. That's a source, I believe.
Is there repeatable mill? I mean, I know there is, but like it's not. Shoot, I used to use it in like Teshar. I used to use it in Oswald. But I don't want that artifact. Blue has a lot of mill, so just like any really good blue, especially if it's repeatable, mill, because the stuff in our trash is equally as good. Mesorb would be good. Mesorb would be really good.
There you go.
Do we want to run any sort of Mesorb combos? No. Or is it just there for value?
We really don't need combos. I think we're fine.
Mesorb. All right, so let's walk us through this. Will we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2 Buckle My Shoe, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana.
All right. We don't have Essence Flux in graveyard, right? We only have the planar.
We have. Sorry, you can't see this. I'm sorry. No, we only have Planar Incision. Planar Incision is 2 mana. And then
do we have 2 extra turn spells in graveyard?
We have Capture. Just Capture.
Okay.
We have Wishclaw Talisman, though. So, like, if we don't intend to give them another turn, we could find a mana solution. Shoot. We could do... if we Wishclaw tallied like for a Soul Ring, does that help us? A Soul Ring would help us. We need something that's mana positive as soon as it comes down.
Yeah.
So like if we do Ancient Tomb for Wishclaw Talisman, give that to someone and grab Soul Ring. And then we go for our...
But we're paying 2 mana to get 2 mana, so Soul Ring doesn't get there. Mana Crypt would get there, but Mana Crypt doesn't exist.
Yeah, Mana Vault would get there. Grim Monolith would not get there. Dark Ritual would get there.
But that's temp mana, so it won't actually do it. We need permanent mana.
Yeah, we need another land. City of Traders would get there.
Yeah.
You could play lands from your grave. Shut the front door.
Yeah, that is
Stop.
true.
During your turn,
That
you
is
may
true.
play
There we
cards
go.
from your graveyard.
I'm dumb. I forgot that. I realized that and I was like, oh yeah, that helps us fix mana
I feel
issues,
like
and then forgot that.
Will definitely stated during the brew, like, yeah, he doesn't care about instants or sorceries. He can play anything. And then we literally forgot he can play anything.
Yeah, so we play
Let's start with the land. Let's start with the land.
Fell the Profane from the graveyard as a land. There we go.
Do you want Fell the Profane, or like do you want to get another dual land with our
I
with our
mean,
fetch?
well, we wanna keep up our graveyard size.
That's
So
what I
if
mean. Like if we do the fetch land, it'll go back to our grave.
no, it won't. It'll go to exile because of Hades.
Oh, yeah, we are at 16 right now. Yeah, we'll do Fell the Profane. To move to battlefield. All right, well, okay, so this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Okay.
So we're going to cast an extra turn spell, and then we are going to cast planar schism.
It
Whatever
cost so capture cost 5. Oh, thank God. Okay, so let's just move these to hand, and then let's move planar incision to hand, just so we can highlight these. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna need. We really need one more mana to just make sure that we go off cleanly, because we want interaction that is not. I mean, that's not true, because I guess we could still do force of. I guess we could still do. We don't have force of will in here, do we? Where's
Yeah,
force
it's
of?
Force of Negation is the one that we have in graveyard, but we have active negation.
Yeah, but that stops us like just dead in our tracks.
It's we can get there right now.
Yeah, this is
still
it.
Have some form of protection.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, we can get there right now. It's just that it's less protection than we would like, but we still have some form of protection.
Well, let's just illustrate it for the sake of illustrating it. So this is what we are pushing towards. Like the blink of an eye could be exile fodder to a force of will, right? That's why, I was thinking to myself, it would be nice. We really should have made force of will one of the cards that we tutored for earlier, not Pact of Negation.
We just didn't have a blue card in hand, but
we would, but yeah,
the politicsing to say like, give us the counterspell we can play.
Right.
We should have put force of will in grave.
Right, because then they would never put it to hand, because they would have known we wouldn't have had a card in hand. But then again, like we wouldn't have known that we would have drew a blue card. But like 3/4 of our deck is blue, so we should have probably just put Force of Will as one of the cards, so that we had that as a play option going into our turn.
Yeah,
but
we swapped out Swan Song for Force of Will because we were expecting them to have us pitch Swan Song because we were saying Fluster Storm was the best option.
I hope any of this is helpful for you guys. I like to work through these play lines with you guys, and obviously we're not going to make what's the saying? Never knows best. We're not going to make it right the first time. It's like Elon with our government. But this is much more low stakes, and let's say we didn't even need a counter. So what happens, Will? We play Capture of Jing Zhao. I think that's how you pronounce that. Yep. And we have exactly 7 mana, and then we play Planar Incision. So Capture first, Capture on the stack, Planar Incision, targeting our avatar. Correct?
Yep. So our avatar is going to get exiled in return as Emmet on the front side. Then Planar Schism is going to finish resolving and go to graveyard, since Hades is no longer on board. Capture Jing Sao is going to resolve, giving us an extra turn and go to the graveyard as well. And we're also going to get the loot effect off of Emmet entering the battlefield.
Right, so we will do Capture, Resolution, we'll draw, and we'll discard. We have an Urza Saga. We did play our land per turn. I'm going to pitch the Blink of an Eye, though, because we need to start going mana positive without the Ancient Tomb.
We can, because we have a fetch land in our graveyard, so we can play it as land for turn, do our loop, and then crack it when Emmet is in play instead of Hades.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I mean, do you want to keep Blink of an Eye in that instance? Or I mean, it's the same difference, really.
Blink of an Eye is slightly better than Urza Saga, because we already have a fetch land in graveyard, so we can just get there with the fetch land.
Right, so next turn, same thing happens. Okay. It's just important to note, like, when we transform using the Planar Incision, he's actually like a 7/7, which is kind of gnarly. One of the things we should be doing, and we didn't necessarily state, was that we should be attacking before all of this. Excuse me. We should just be attacking before all of this because this is the 7 damage is literally 3 times each person. Like we might even get past Ancient Tomb just doing this, right? Provided they don't have enough blockers to stop 7, and it would be like a Nagila, right? But the Nagila is probably all tapped in anyway, so it's like unless they have a way to untap their entire board to 7 tuple block you. I don't know what the word is for that. Let's put some other tech in.
I think it's septuple.
Septuple?
Yeah, because 6 is hextuple, so I think 7 is septuple.
We don't want the septuple warrior block. Okay? We can't have that happen. We're not done here. This is really interesting. Thoughts so far? I wanna make some new inclusions though. So let's do the Ashiok Dream Render, 100% Tim.
I think so. We can cut Unsummon, and I think we can cut Into the Royal and what's the other one?
Into
Blink of an Eye, Blink of an Eye, Into the Royal, and Unsummon. I think those are the 3 bad ones we have.
Blink of an Eye, Into the Royal. I think I took out Into the Royal already. Nope, I'm a liar. Okay, sorry. No, we definitely saw it. Into the Royal and Unsummon.
Mesmeric Orb, Ashiok, and let me look for another decent mill or Surveil effect.
Mesmeric is a little bit of a double-edged sword. Again, for those Underworld Breach lists, is kind of a bitch, but can we use any sort of stacks that we're not using currently? Obviously not Vexing Bauble. No Vexing Bauble. We also need to be more card positive going into those turns. Like, that was scary being down to 1 card, by the way.
We can add in a Fairy Mastermind if you want. Or Necropotence, if we want to try.
Do you just want to add?
But I think Fairy Mastermind's better. Necropotence is better if we have Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye in the deck.
Is Fairy Mastermind the best option?
I believe so. It's the one that a lot of people go for, but I can do like a quick run through.
No, it's okay.
Decent draw.
I do think that Ashiok is a good value engine. I think that it's also just a good target. But we've got like a 2/4 Vigilant. It's going to be hard to get into unless they have flyers. Crom, specifically. All right, Mesmeric Orb. In case you guys don't know what this one is. So, the reason I ask about combos is that we can literally Basalt Monolith Mesmeric Orb and just have the loaded grave prior to our turn. We can literally just do that. We just have the entire grave with a thing that taps for 3 generic to go into a double blue pipped extra turn spell.
It's more like we play Thassa's Oracle out of our graveyard and then win.
At that point, yeah, like it doesn't even matter. Am I wrong? Is Basalt Monolith Mesmeric Orb not a good combo for this deck? I feel like that's kind of good.
It's probably good enough.
Fuck it, let's do it. I mean, do we run any artifact tutors at this point? We don't. I still don't think we need to run specific artifact tutors, but I do think Basalt Monolith Mesmeric Orb, it's a sort of a oldie goldie combo for decks that care about their grave. Depending on how many looting effects, Monument of Endurance could be good. Well, I mean, we have it in the CZ, right? So Monument of Endurance should be considered just because our commander allows for the thing.
Yeah. Our commander gives us enough draw. If we hit a flicker effect, then we get like another draw on somebody else's turn. I like it.
Right. I'm sorry. Wait. Monument 2 Endurance. That's why.
Yes.
I think I pulled one, actually. I have a Monument.
Endurance is such a good and notable card that they made monuments to it on planes that don't even know it exists.
Right. Wolfsbane. This is a good one. This is good tech. Because it's notably making us our card quality affect card advantage, or it's ramping us. I mean, or frankly, we're just pinging people, which isn't necessarily how we're trying to win, but
I mean, when we're at the state of looping stuff, we can just burn everybody out. We don't even need to attack.
Monument to Endurance. Hold up. Whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Like if we're just chaining extra turn, if all we're doing is chaining extra turns,
we're flickering Emmet, which is then going to trigger Monument of Endurance, which is then going to burn everybody. So we just go take 3, even if we can't attack.
That's so funny. Wait. Okay, wait. We've got a lot of outs now. I'm sorry. We need to take a step back. Okay, so Monument to Endurance, extra turn, flicker. Thassa's Oracle, DC, Grave. Sure. In hand, Grave. Wherever they are, that wins the game. Extra turn, beat, provided nothing else is available. Basalt and the Mesmeric are just a line to get to one of those two solutions. And then this.
Yeah, because
I think that
we stop the Basalt and the Mesmeric loop when we have enough to only draw one card remaining in our deck,
right.
or until we see Thoracle, and then we say stop, and then when we get the Thoracle trigger, we mill the rest of our deck with Basalt Mesmeric.
Are you I know Will likes this deck, and this is something you were saying, at least off camera, that you would want to put together. Is this more or less in line with like what you would want to do with it?
I'd probably go a little bit more into the extra turn style things, because I would want 5 extra turns. But
all right, well, let's put it in.
We can do this because this is how we build it together. But it's working. It's working well enough.
I want to say we really did just luck into having the solution there. Like,
I mean, we have so many redundancies that we're likely to just luck into it.
It was dumb. We're just like, yeah, let's just maybe we should go for Frantic Search, pull it. Maybe we should go for extra turn, pull it. Like, we tutored for the intuition, and then the 3 cards we were going to intuition, we just saw. It was like so stupid.
Tome Scour. Tome Scour is another card we should probably run.
I'm sorry, I forgot to put Monument to Endurance in the deck, so we're doing that. And Tome
Scour, 1 blue sorcery, target player mills 5.
Tomes, like literal.
It gets us like almost halfway there by itself. So I'm like,
if it is there not one that like mills 3 in cantrips? Like, I don't want to be down a card in hand to have 5 in the bush. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good.
Like Surveil multiple, like Surveil 2, draw 1 for 2 mana, but that's 2 mana.
I think that Brain Freeze is enough. You cast a spell copy for each spell cast before it this turn. I mean, like, even if we're just like waiting on the Brain Freeze after someone else's turn, like they just do like 2-3 things. I feel like this is adequate. Dredge. Thought Scour. Didn't we put Thought Scour in the? I think we did put
Thought Scour's in here.
This is target player mill. So like I want something like this because
we have Consider and we have Thought Scour for those who were going to ask.
Yeah, I think that's I do think those are good enough, Will.
Golgari Thug. That's probably the best dredge card that we could ask for.
But would we want it?
I mean, it fills our grave rather quickly, so sure. We attack with Emmett, and then let's see, draw card. We draw the troll and then discard the troll, and we get 4 cards into our graveyard. It gets us there.
If you would draw cards, you may mill. Dredge is a really interesting idea, though. Do we run the Dakmar Salvage instead as a land?
Yeah, I think we run the dredge cards that hit for like 2 or more.
Well, I mean, and look, Dakmar Salvage is kind of a bitch because it only mills 2 and it's a tapped land. But like, if you would draw a card instead of this country,
I think we just run Stinkweed Imp and the Thug.
Stinkweed is a cheeky.
Dredge 5, yeah, and pseudo Death Touch.
Are we really trying to put this on the field? We're never playing this. Yeah,
we're always drawing this and then discarding it. It's just we use Emmett's effect to fill our graveyard by 5 more cards. I like it just for the sake of it is the best mill effect that we can use.
Thank you for the suggestions, everyone. I do think, I mean, this doesn't give us a reason to do Buried Alive yet. But Buried Alive is just 3 in the grave, and this would be 1. In my mind, Buried Alive is just 3 in the grave. So, like, do we just bury our own Thassa's Oracle? Because it is the side win for the deck. Like, we don't need it. So I'd rather, and I wouldn't want to draw it. So I'd rather just put Thassa's Oracle there, Stinkweed Imp, and like, we don't have Reanimate in the deck. But we could just put the Displacer Kitten, I guess.
Our commander is a Reanimate.
It technically is a Reanimate, yeah. And Displacer Kitten, I'm trying to make a buried alive pile here because that would actually expedite the process a little bit. Because buried alive with itself, it's 3 total. Do you want to include buried alive?
Uh, nah, Buried Alive feels a little bit clunky.
I think
With
Stinkweed Imp feels a little clunky, but like if Emmett's not around, then Stinkweed Imp is just a black card in the hand that we can't pitch to anything. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but the whole point of the deck is Emmett will be around. If we can use just Stinkweed Imp, but I do want like one dredge card because
Oh yeah,
it's a more consistent brain freeze.
Will is right with our commander. Is this the highest dredge though that we can use? Because the only other one is like 7, but it's actually in Golgari, right? It's like
it's 6 and it's in green. It's funnily enough, it's called Golgari though. It's Golgari Grave Troll and it's mono green.
Yeah, we can't. Okay, yeah, that's the best dredge we're gonna get. Weird that we didn't think about dredge. Frankly, I haven't thought about it since Gitrog, so it's been a while since I've tried that. All right, this deck looks really sick now. Let's cut 2 cards, try it again.
All right.
Well. Again, you can still make room for Necropotence if you want to. We have 21 lands.
Do we want Brain Freeze? I don't think we're storming up high enough where Brain Freeze is usually going to be effective. And with a Dredge, we kind of have better Brain Freeze now.
Are you saying you want to entomb Unmarked Grave Stinkweed Imp? Just have that option. Is that what you're saying?
Just getting it into the graveyard or finding it and then discarding it and drawing it. It
just needs to happen 3 times and like, yeah, with everything else we're playing. Brain
Freeze is really in there just for the mill, but Stinkweed is kind of doing the same thing.
I think you're right, though. I do think Stinkweed is a little bit better at it. For us, with the way this deck is structured right now, I think it's a little bit better for it. I'm going to put... we could still put Walk the Eons back in, by the way. We need to cut 1 more card. I like everything in our sorceries. Haven't even tried our Planeswalker, but I like it already. 29 lands seems good. City of Traders. I'm sorry. I'm going to add City of Traders.
Yeah, it's 29 lands plus 3 modals. So it's 33 lands.
We'll add City of Traders. I don't know what that means for the total deck. Are we going to remove...
We could cut 2 basics and we're probably fine. Because we have one of each snow, one of each standard.
Okay. Let's just cut the snows then.
Is that because they're easier to find?
Yeah. All right. That's it. Let's check it out. All right, guys. I think that this will be a much smoother deck. Both of our basics are in hand with Ashiok. That's weird. Okay. We're not going to keep this hand. This is an Ashiok hand, though. Spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause their controller to search their library. Such a good stacks piece. The negative one is just going to be for us, really. Then exile each opponent's graveyard. Most top 4 cards of the library into their graveyard. Yeah, it's just so good.
It is. I'm very happy that somebody brought that up because that is so good.
No, thank you, Tim. This is keepable. I will point out why, I suppose. There's an Ancient Tomb with a Talisman. There's a Rhystic Study. There is a Verge Land, Command Tower, Stinkweed Imp in hand with an MDFC. There is no interaction, but we do have a turn 2 Rhystic Study pretty cleanly. And I don't know, maybe we top deck.
Shame on you, Patrick. Hydroelectric Specimen is interaction.
Well, playable interaction. Did y'all see the Spider-Man spoilers? I know it's off topic. Jurassic Magic? No.
They got spoiled while we were streaming. I'm going to send you the link to the Magic spoilers when we're done with the stream because we could discuss them. It's 6 cards.
Thank you for that.
I know you're hyped about them.
But yeah, was Venom one of them?
Yes.
Fuck yes. Wait. Oh, let's stop this.
We'll finish this game and then we'll talk about it.
Shit. Okay. Sorry. Wow. Hey, Drazik, thank you for bringing that up, guys. If you're still with us, we're gonna do one more play test. Obviously, I want to close this off with just a round with you guys discussing: did we like the play lines? Did we like the strategy? And if we think that this is a bracket 5 commander, but it seemed the first game was good, but we were low on hand size. Rhystic Study changes a lot. So let's go ahead and draw for turn. That is exactly what I want to see. I just want to see one piece of interaction. Okay, so Ancient Tomb, Tally. We have an offer you can't refuse.
It's
Sweet.
it's almost like a quarter of our deck is interaction.
I know. But like the fact that we top decked one that was like perfectly one blue that hits pretty much anything that we would be concerned about. Because right, like we're not going to worry about Thassa's Oracle, but we will kill the DC. All right, let's say we don't need to use it, and then we'll go for our next turn. Essence Flux is cool. I think we go Command Tower here because it just offers us both our colors. We'll use the Ancient Tomb into it's fine. We're not tracking life, but I usually advise going for rocks first because there are things that stop rocks more often than there are things that stop lands. If we need to use offer on this, we can say we do, but let's just give ourselves the Ristic Study. This could also be an Emmet turn, but I think I want to go into Emmet with a flush hand. Is that fair?
Yeah, Ristic is better than playing Emmet and then discarding Stinkweed Imp. I think that we want to try to find extra turn spells, and we want to set up with Emmet more than we want to combo right now.
No, 100%. All right. Off turn, let's say we do need to use the offer. How many draws do you think we'll get off the Ristic? Maybe like 3, being modest?
Yeah, 2 or 3. I'd say 3.
On a turn 2. 1, 2, 3. Snap, Chalice, Thought Scour. Remind me again why we went with Chalice. It was just like good, effective into the late.
Utility ramp, because we can just play it early for ramp, or we can pump mana into it to give us the like 6 to 7 mana we need for late game combos.
I'm going to use our fetch to fill our grave this turn, and also while we effectively still have 2 basics to find. Also, this Prismatic Vista art, the special guest art is insane. I wasn't aware. I just wasn't aware of this. That looks beautiful. All right, we'll break that. Let's get a basic. Looking at my hand, I think I'm going to grab an island.
Our deck is mostly blue.
Yeah.
That's why the Verge land is good, because it taps for blue, but sometimes it taps for black.
It's gonna tap for blue. It's gonna tap for blue this game, Will. All right. Let's is there a world where we could do you want to just do Ancient Tomb into Chalice and then Emmet?
Yeah. I like getting Emmet out here because it sets up for Stinkweed Imp. Because our main thing right now is that we want to get to like 6 mana because we have Essence Flux in hand. And it's looking like we're going to get there. Because let's see, that's 5 mana right now. So
2 cards in grave, by the way. So I'll track that for you guys so you can see a little bit easier.
Heck, we probably don't even need to Essence Flux, but I like it. I'm sorry, we probably don't even need to Chalice, but I like Chalice, so.
Right. Oh, shit. This deck it's really popping off. All right. So let's just say we get a draw, I guess. Off Ristic Study. We're just going to pull through the turns. Nothing to enter. Huh?
Stinkweed Imp, right? Off of the Emmet trigger.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Emmet trigger. We'll draw a card. We're not passing yet, clearly. We'll discard the Stinkweed Imp. Excuse me. That's that. A Ristic Study with Stinkweed Imp, by the way. That's a combo. At any rate, let's do let's say we trigger a draw. We'll take the Stinkweed Imp.
Yep.
All right, so we'll discard I'll just tell you guys. We discard a Swan Song, a Pact of Negation, Imperial Seal, a Capture, and a Deadly Rollick. So that's 5 in the trash. That puts us at 7. And we put Stinkweed Imp back to hand. Do we have a way to discard Stinkweed Imp right now?
I don't think no, it's just Emmet, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, we do have Essence Flux. We could technically just run the Flux out before the end of our turn to Emmet and then discard him before our turn. Or
yeah, that's actually, because we only have 1 mana up.
Yeah, we don't have sadly we pitched our Swan Song. That was like the next draw. That would have been really good to have.
Yeah, but I think that we do Essence Flux just to do that setup, even though it's not going to give us Emmet on our turn.
No, well, okay. So wait.
If we had 1 more mana, we could cast Thought Scour and then draw on Stinkweed Imp on somebody else's end step.
Right. Well, we don't need to turbo this out technically, but that's not necessarily what the deck is doing. But it can kind of get there.
Holding up Essence Flux is actually probably a better call because 1, it's protection for Emmet, and 2, it'll make it so people don't know that we have it.
So let's just say we get 2 more draw off turn. So there's like 3 total. I think Ristic Study at 3 is probably fair in the early stages. I think people will get more conservative provided they're failing to win the game.
Yeah.
Cabal Pit is interesting. I forgot we had this in here, but it's not bad for us.
It's sackable once we get threshold, so it helps us get that last little bit. But
Yeah, it also
not
kills
bad.
like a bowmaster,
Yeah.
which would fuck our day. So kind of need that. All right, mind break trap as well. So thank God we have some form of interaction.
Doesn't fuck our day if we fuck their day first. Punch him with Emmet.
Do we want to? There's no way we could get there. So we have 7 plus 5 from the Impweed is 12 plus the Essence Flux is 13. Imp goes back to hand, so that is just positive 5, 13.
Emmet flips on upkeep. Only on upkeep.
I know. So, before we take our turn, I'm saying there's just no way we could do it here.
Yeah, we can't do it because we have 1 mana to do it with, and we can't do it on upkeep because Emmet won't trigger if we don't have it when we get to upkeep, and that's the only time when we can play stuff.
Well, okay, so let's do this at least. Let's do the Thought Scour before our turn. Right?
Yeah.
So target player, us, we're going to mill a Felwar Stone and a Dothi Voidwalker. We'll draw into Time Warp. Okay. Probably something we also pitch. Take turn. Do you want to play that Mystic Remora? I don't know.
You said we found Time Warp?
I mean, we just have an extra turn here, yeah.
Yeah, we can just cast in it. Wait, we can attack with starting Stinkweed Imp and then Time Warp, draw... hold on, is it...
I know what you want to do. Wait, let's do... I think we Essence Flux here, too.
Playing the Thought Scour was probably a mistake because...
No, we get there.
Now we can't instant speed... Oh, no, we have Essence Flux.
We have that, yeah. Yeah, we still have it. So, so let's, before we attack, well, no, that's not true. We just need to pitch him. We need to pitch him to this attack. Okay, so do we want to play a land right now, or do we want to wait?
Verge. It's always the Verge land. We're not finding the only thing better than the Verge land is a fetch land, but I think we already get there. So
yeah, so we'll go to attack. He's vigilant. Draw a card, discard a card. So we'll draw opposition agent. We'll pitch the Stinkweed Imp. Let's go ahead and Essence Flux now. We'll tap the island. We'll flicker Emmet. Essence Flux goes to the trash. We're going to put a 1/1 counter on him. It is actually relevant for the attack next turn.
It's only a +1/+1 counter if he's a spirit, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Neither or. I'm sorry. What did we do to give +1 earlier? It was
Planar Schism.
It was a different spell. Sorry.
Or Incision. Planar Incision. My bad.
He ETBs. The draw trigger would come into play. We'll do the dredge instead. We're going to pitch, I'll just tell you guys, Mox Diamond, Mana Vault, Forbidden Orchard, Chain of Vapor, and Mystical Tutor. All great cards to pitch, by the way. Like, that's fantastic. All the mana positive shit we need, by the way. All right, do we want to just drop... do we have the mana to drop Mystic Remora before we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 mana total.
Yeah, and we don't have a 1 mana interaction, so yeah, we can just go for it. Mystic Remora into Temporal.
Because, like, if we fail... I feel like the Mystic Remora might bait interaction anyways, but then...
Yeah, because let's see, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 mana. We can pay 1 for Mystic Remora on our extra turn to keep up Mystic Remora while we're doing stuff. So
yeah, I think it's going to be that this next, if this goes off, and they choose to interact with it next turn. Like, Mystic Remora really, in my mind, is just another card that's going to fill up the grave. But at least it gives us, like, play options, provided Time Warp is countered.
We have a full grave, right? Like,
It's 16, I'm sorry. It's at 16, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're loaded. We don't need this. I'm just saying it's a good failsafe.
Yeah.
And we have the mana for it. So if we don't get the Time Warp, we're going to flip anyways next turn, and they need to do something. Technically... we could do Snap to go back mana positive as well, but there's no reason.
We can get rid of, let's say, a Drannith Magistrate or something. So we can just say that we use Snapped to get rid of a Drannith Magistrate, then play Temporal.
Yeah. Untap 2 lands. It's going to be through the Ancient Tomb and the Verge.
We don't even need to filter an Ancient Tomb, if I'm being honest. We just use it for the sake of using it for free, and then
Right. Oh, this does go mana positive, but you're absolutely right. We don't need to lose the life. Anyway, so we'll do time warp. It's going to be 1 mana, 2 mana, 3, 4. Well, I did it that way, so that's the additional mana. Target player takes an extra turn. That's going to be us. Hopefully, no one has a redirect. Is that good? Cool. Okay, next turn. Emmett sees our trash. He's like, "Holy shit, that's a lot of cards." He'll flip. It says he's a 7/7 now. Sans the counters, but that's not accurate. So
Yeah, it's some visual bug.
yeah, we'll fix that. I guess
It
the transformed side remembered the counter from the front side. That's interesting. All right, so yeah, we've got the body. Let's do the thing. Do we want to? Do we just cast our value cards first? Like, do you want to just put the Mox Diamond out? Do you want to put the Mana Vault out?
Yeah, we can.
Felwar Stone. Yeah,
we can put out the things that have no consequence for playing them. All of our permanents.
Right. So I'll pitch that. I'll keep the fetch land. We'll drop the Cabal.
Yeah, the fetch land lets us get out of Ancient Tomb by doing the cheaty fetch play that we talked about before.
Well, wait. I was just gonna grab a swamp right now. Oh yeah.
The thing.
If a card or a token would
discarding the grave, or we're discarding the exile, not into grave. So we want to fetch when we have Emmet instead of Hades.
So we don't want the Mox Diamond.
We do want the Mox Diamond.
It's the same difference. Yeah.
We don't care because we're gonna have a full hand.
We're gonna move the Mana Vault to the battlefield. Move to battlefield.
Actually, yeah. Make sure that we don't get below 14 cards in grave. But gonna get us up by one more though, so you can keep that in mind.
I don't know that I want the Mana Vault tapped, even. I'll just use the Ancient Tomb to play the Signet. The Felwar Stone.
Well, if we don't want the Mana Vault tapped, we just shouldn't play the Mana Vault at that point.
Yeah, no, I'm realizing now. We're gonna do this and this and this instead of this for this. Okay, I think that's it. That leaves us at 16 in trash. And just for reference, we have Mana Vault, Time Warp, Snap, Mystical Tutor, Chain of Vapor, Forbidden Orchard, Essence Flux, Dothy Voidwalker, Thought Scour, Deadly Rollick, Capture, 2 extra turns, Imp Seal, whatever we want, and Pact of Negation. The important cards to note here, for reference, are the Essence Flux, obviously the extra turn spells, and we don't have a really great counter spell. We have in hand a Tainted Pact, though, that could find us one. That's not the best way to do it. I think we should just go for the Imp Seal, because as soon as we Essence Flux, actually,
we could just play Imperial Seal to draw if we wanted, or not draw, to set up on top if we wanted, and then Thought Scour to find it. As long as we have the mana to play one extra turn spell, does not even have to be Essence Flux. One extra turn spell will let us chain into the win next turn on the extra turn.
So just go to combat, hit someone for 6, and then we kind of have it here.
Imp Seal, Thought Scour to get another piece of interaction. Cast one of the extra turn spells from graveyard, move to extra turn, do the loop there.
Right. So I am going to say we kept the Mystic Grimoire around for this turn, but if no one has anything for us, then it will just die next turn. It'll go away next turn and go into our trash next turn, I should say.
Well, it'll go into exile, unfortunately, because
don't we choose though at the beginning? Like we would layer it.
He's flipped right now, so he's there. So if anything goes to graveyard right now, it goes to exile.
Oh no, yeah, but like at the beginning of our next upkeep, once we have Emmett back, I'm gonna let the Mystic resolve first, and then yeah. All right, so
what I'm saying right now though is if we want to be safer, instead of playing Essence Flux, we can just play one of the 2 extra turns.
Yeah,
and let it go to exile, and then we take an extra turn, and then we have a full grip with interaction.
Right, so we'll do the Ancient Tomb, this, and we're going to save the Flooded Strand, and then we'll do the Felwar Stone. Okay, so we'll go to exile.
We got there.
Right, yeah. Next turn, we'll let this go away. That's fine. We have 15 cards in grave, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. All right, how do you want to do it, Will?
All right, and we can Imp Seal as well, right? Did we Imp Seal to find interaction?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you wanted to Imp Seal and have it just go to the move to exile.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we'll have exactly 14 in graveyard and be fine, and we're also going to be discarding card when Emmet enters, so we'll have 15 again.
What's the if you control your commander, force of negation, force fierce
Guard, Fierce
fierce
Guardianship.
guardianship. That's it. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so we have fierce guardianship. Sorry about that. We did talk about the MCL. I just didn't do it. We did have the mana available to do it though, so it's
Yep, yep.
not a concern.
But now
Okay,
from here, we do the thing. I'll let you talk through it this
right.
time, Patrick, because you're the pilot, you're the expert.
Yeah, more or less. So the important cards again are the extra turn. Am I crazy? Time warp.
I mean, yes, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, we're gonna put time warp on the stack again. This is after we attack, so we'll move to combat. I just want to pull these out though. We do have a swan song we can play from trash too. Like this is all hyper relevant. The card we're always going to pitch is going to be the Stinkweed Imp from here on out. I'm sorry, Essence Flux. Okay, I'm just like, all right. So we're going to go to combat. We'll swing 6 at someone, and then we will go ahead and put time warp on the stack. With time warp on the stack before it resolves, we'll essence flux our commander. So we'll do this by tapping. Try to do this without losing life this go around. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 for the essence flux. We'll keep the command tower, the tomb, and the flooded strand open. If no one stopped us at this point, I don't think they have the interaction. So we're going to essence flux resolve.
And we actually could pay a little bit of life just to keep mana open, like use Ancient Tomb just to keep more pips open for more interaction. But
yeah, it's fine. Well, I haven't been tracking our life is all. So it's like, if you were trying to do this the safe way without dying, yeah.
Let's say we've lost 20 life, we're still fine.
Yeah. But so we go down, take the extra turn now. But the ETB on Emmet will resolve before the time warp. I'm just trying to expedite this. We'll draw a card and we'll pitch the Stinkweed Imp. While this is all resolved, I'm going to go ahead and do the Flooded Strand. I'll just get I can't even get the Swamp out. We'll just get the Underground Sea, which is the same thing as the Swamp.
Fill our graveyard a little bit more.
I guess that works too. I mean, we're at 16 right now. What's the Surveil land called again?
It is Undercity something.
Undercity Sewers. Yeah, we'll do that then. Undercity Sewers. It does come into play tapped. But that's fine. It's Surveil 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shuffle. Boop. And Intuition. Intuition can just go into our trash because we can play it there too. We can play any of these there. Let's put the Hydro Specimen there. I'm sorry. It has flash, so we can it shouldn't be too bad. But we just top deck Force of Will, by the way. I should mention that's the card we kept from the Stinkweed Imp. So we're really good right now. At any rate, we take an extra turn. Next turn. And you get the idea. We play the Mox Amber.
Wait, why do you put Specimen in graveyard but not Intuition?
It's the same difference to me, and Intuition is a possibility to add more cards to our grave if for some reason cards are ripped from our grave.
It was Surveil. Do we put Intuition in graveyard?
Oh. Whoops.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Sorry. I was doing Emmett's effect. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the beginning of Red Blue, he turns into this. We play the Mox Amber. Same thing. Attack, extra turn / flicker effect. And we have Fierce Guardianship and a Force of Will. We could pitch the Specimen to that. If we just want to expedite this further, we could wait till Thassa's Oracle hits the grave, or we get an Entomb to put it into grave, and we have Tainted Pact.
We can. We exiled our Imperial Seal, but
we
use Tainted Pact to find Thorkel, then recast Tainted Pact from graveyard with Hades, and then play Thorkel. We can do the what's her name?
No. Yes, I know who you're talking about. The Eminence one. Or I guess Kess.
Yeah.
No, Kess does the same thing.
Kess does, yeah.
Dissonant.
I don't think there's an Eminence that lets you play from graveyard, but Kess was in the precon, the Eminence precon.
I feel like there's a cheeky double line, but the thing you're referring to is Kess, because she'll just let you repeat the thing. So yeah, you do the Tainted Pack, and then that's the one sorcery or instant you play.
Emmet can do the cEDH Kess thing, but
better.
Yeah.
But kind of better. Holy shit. Oh, okay, look, guys. This was it's turn 7. This is an extra turn deck. I think we initiated on turn 5. Though?
Turn 4.
Well, we took an extra turn to 6, exiled that extra turn, and then extra turn into 7.
We played our first extra turn spell in 4, I believe.
Either way,
We got it.
we had the protection. We had a very starting with Ristic Study was kind of it's always going to be nutty. So it's like we're going to have hand positive no matter what. When you just load a deck, that let's talk about this deck. Okay, well, when you load a deck with interaction and just effects that are niche but can be discarded and played later, what do you get?
You get a very strong commander that lets you just abuse the heck out of your graveyard. Because a good example is Kestis and Mage on how this deck
Right.
plays. And
Right.
the complaints that people have with Kess are A, you can only play instants and sorceries, and B, you can only play one per turn.
Right,
And it doesn't care.
It's pip intensive. It's pip intensive, and it's 4 technically, but you do get access to red, which is really just to say Underworld Breach, Gamble, red, and Pyro. So if we're being honest, because Dockside is not include anymore, and it's not like the ramp is good, but it's not like you're leveraging it in a meaningful way outside of like your snap or something. So Kess kind of dropped before like Dockside even rose in prominence anyways, but I'm sure there were Kess players that still leveraged this for a Grixis deck. So yeah, like Will's right. It's funny to think about, but yeah, it does operate exactly like Kess, except better. Because again, before do all the things you want to do, right? So do the Tainted Pact, exile all the way down to Thassa's Oracle, and then flicker on top of that, right? To make sure that we don't exile the thing. And then there's just a little bit of there are some hurdles you need to jump so that you don't exile the cards. But provided you have the flicker effect, you should never lose the card because the replacement effect won't be there. Right? That's the bottom line. So this is a little bit better than Kess. Like you're not forced into exiling the thing. It's like what Will said off the top. Like you're never forced into exiling the thing provided you have a flicker. The deck is even a bounce. But again, we did remove some of the bounces. I think we kept Unsubstantiate.
Unsub and Chain of Vapor, I think, are the 2 bounces and Snap. Unsub, Chain of Vapor, and Snap are the 3 bounce effects that we kept, and those are more so there as like a backup because they're good removal, and they just so happen to give us another line in case we don't have exactly what we need.
Right, it's weird. I don't know that we leverage cards like Unsubstantiate frequently because he'll need to be. Not that we didn't have the mana to just replay him and do an extra turn, but the extra turn in him would need to be in hand at the same turn, and you would need the mana for the bounce him and the extra turn to ensure that you get the flip by the following turn. So it's not ever as clean as a flicker like your Teferis or your Incision or your.
It's significantly more mana because you need to play the extra turn spell, play the bounce effect, bouncing Emmet to your hand, putting the 2 into graveyard, replaying Emmet, and then continuing from there. So you're paying 1 blue, 1 black, and 1 generic more every single time.
I feel like we could probably forego them then. I feel like we could probably leverage.
But they're also just very good interaction.
No, Chain is
Unsubstantiate's the only one that could potentially be removed.
No, I'm with you. Unsub feels a little iffy. I love the Monument you guys suggested. There are other cards like whenever you discard a card, you generate 2 black mana. What's that name? There are other cards. Right. So there are things like Bone Miser that we could be leveraging. Monument is better. It's 3 generic. It's just vanilla good effects. You get a untapped treasure. You get a draw, or you ping everyone for 3. That's the best utility right now. But Unsub could probably come out for something else. If you want to just run Necropotence, there you go. I would take Unsub out for Necropotence.
And I will say, because we probably could have won both games significantly sooner.
Especially with Stinkweed, isn't it now?
Yeah, with Stinkweed in it, but also if you have Demonic Consultation in hand and like 13 or more cards in your graveyard, you just go, okay, end of turn before my turn, Demonic Consultation, find Thorkel. My turn, untap, upkeep, transform Emmet, Demonic Consultation, Thorkel. Game.
Or Thorkel, Demonic Consultation. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have all of your graveyard as interaction to stop them from stopping you. So.
Right, and if you're doing the control thing, guys, like all that counter interaction is just right there. Just right there. Man, this is good. This is really good. I love Hades. So it's just, again, this just reminds me of playing old, Yawgmoth's Will Storm decks, but just better. Better than Yawg Will.
You
Hands
don't
down.
even exile the cards if you know what you're doing.
No, it's good. I have to add a thing that flickers my commander that gives me card quality. Like, that's fine. Sweet. And then again, Syncweedy, please be in the trash. Maybe there's a case to be made about having another dredger. But
cycle between the two, or just to have more redundancy. Yeah,
right, exactly. Like, I like the idea of having two to like chain them, and then you go auto mill to where you need to be, because that is the cheapest, most effective way, because it doesn't cost you anything outside of the flicker, which is just a value engine in and of itself. All right, guys, is this B5?
Yeah. Honestly, the fact that we won the game without using the cleanest line shows that the deck works.
Right. We, that's what I'll say. Ishtola, I don't feel like we were forcing the toxic plays, the poison plays, the infect plays. I'm sorry, but this felt easier to do. This felt a lot easier to do, and like Ishtola is really sick as a B, as I think a B4 to B5 commander. I feel like this was more fluid. It's like we're not really adding too much with white in that deck, anyways. So what we're missing out in like color, we make up for in general strategy here. Like when we finish building out a deck and there are spaces, or there are only few flex spots, that's when you know it's good. Like if everything we put in there that was essential, we did this and said, oh, that's good enough, and it turns out like this is good. I would say this is B5. Our build, and like I think you could do so much more with it. Like we're certainly missing elements. I'm sure there's got to be some weird tech card that someone would consider playing that will elevate this even further. This is sick as hell, dude. While we're here, though, because we're talking about this, did you send the link to the thing? Actually, I'll just look it up. What is it called? Spider-Man?
Here you go. It's on Discord. You can click the link on Discord.
Sorry, I'm gonna mess with Will's face for just 1 second. There you go. Copy link. Sure. By the way, again, please let me know if you enjoyed the stream today. Like, and I mean from a quality perspective, like, did everything look good to you? Audio, video, any lag, anything noticeable? Please let me know when this. Holy shit! Sorry. Please let me know when this is a VOD, or if you're here for the live right now. I'd love to find out. Shout out Meld Studio. Thank God for you guys. Set this up in like an hour. All right. I mean, like, we're done. That's it for Emet-Selch, bracket 5. He's great. Take our list, do with it what you will. Will, do you want to look at Spider-Man?
Yeah, we can talk about Spider-Man really quick, because it's only 6 cards. It's not a ton to cover, but let's start off with Doc Ock.
Shit. Oh, wait. The thing you sent me has Venom in the lead.
Yeah, we'll do Venom and Spider-Man last, because save the best for last.
Okay. Sorry. Pumpkin Bomb? Sure, I'll just have them both on screen. Okay.
Yeah, so Doc Ock and Grasping Tentacles. So Doc Ock is Dimir Legendary for 7 mana. He's Legendary Scientist Villain with 8 power and 8 toughness, because he's an octopus. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-creature artifact you control becomes an 8/8 robotic villain artifact creature token in addition to its other, creature in addition to its other types. Animate stuff. 'Tis cool, and his connected spell is Grasping Tentacles, which is target opponent mills 8 cards, then you put an artifact from among that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control.
That's actually a good spell. Like, yeah. You're going to hit an artifact. Like, if you do that and hit the 1 ring, you just spent 3 mana for the 1 ring. That's great. Are you kidding me? And like, if their deck doesn't rely on any sort of recursion, or they don't have recovery, that shit's just in their grave. That's actually not bad. I like Grasping Tentacles. Doc Ock is questionable.
He's fun if you want to punch people with artifacts and like crew vehicles for free. Cool, but
dude, oh my god! But you know, when they do the top deck tutor, like if they imp seal, you're like, is that the 1 ring? You're just like, what'd you put there? Let's find out. What'd you put there? Holy crap! I like Grasping Tentacles a lot. Pumpkin Bombs, I assume, go with Green Goblin.
Yep. The Green Goblin is 4 mana for Rakdos Commander, and he is a Goblin Human villain. This is the first Goblin Human we have ever had, ironically enough.
Yeah, that's
Um,
weird. I like that they're still committing to calling him a goblin.
he's 3 power, 3 toughness with flying, and says whenever you discard a non-land card, put +1/+1 counter on it.
Okay.
Whenever you discard a land, create a tapped treasure token.
Huh. Tapped.
He gets big. I want to point out it's not whenever you discard one or more, so he's wheel dot deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Rakdos wheelless. That's kind of cool.
and if only there was a really cool and interesting new discard effect. Wait, Pumpkin Bomb.
Yeah.
2 in a red, tap it and discard 2 cards. Draw 3 cards, put a fuse counter on this artifact, deal damage equal to the number of fuse counters on this to target opponent, then they gain control of Pumpkin Bomb. So this is just like a weird, dumb little group hug card that is also burning people down. Weakness of the card is someone can just say, I'm kind of low in health, I'm just not going to use it anymore. And then you're there. But fun card. I like it.
That's it. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, the pumpkin bombs are sick. Let's do Spider-Man and Venom.
Yeah, so we'll start it with Spider-Man first, as I know you were very excited about Venom, so we will save Venom for last.
He better be good.
Spider-Man is really cool and is one of the best kind of commanders for this this effect that we had in a long time. So Spider-Man is a stun counter tribal commander. He is 1 a blue and a white for legendary creature Spider Human Hero with 3 power and 3 toughness. Whenever he attacks, tap target creature defending player controls and put a stun counter on it. Then you may remove up to 3 stun counters from among all permanents and draw cards equal to the number of stun counters removed this way. So you can just tap an opponent's thing and draw a card whenever he attacks. You can draw up to 3 if you play other stun counter effects.
There's ways to double this, yeah. Ways to double this would be good. I wish Delny worked here.
Proliferate and stuff like that. You could just lock people's creatures out and then start drawing. So he's a pretty good casual commander, and this is the first. I think this is the first stun counters matter commander that we've had. We've had commanders that use stun counters, but I think this is the first one that actively wants there to be a ton of stun counters in play.
Would have been too much to ask for Flash and also win ETB.
I think that would be fine. The only thing with is ETB doesn't really work with the phrasing of it because it's defending player.
Yeah. But, no, no, it's good. It's really good. You're not wrong. This is kind of sick.
Like probably not a B4 or a B5, but
no.
I could see potentially a B3 because you can do some dirty things with stun counters and proliferate.
I definitely want to see that. That seems super cool. Have target creature defending player controls and put a stun counter on it. Yeah, I like it.
Last one, Venom Deadly Devourer. And let me just say, this is actually a really good card. 2 a black and a green for a symbiote villain with 4 power, 4 toughness, vigilance, and menace. Pay 3, exile target creature card from a graveyard. When you do, put X +1/+1 counters on Venom, on target symbiote. On Venom, where X is the exiled card's toughness. Big butts matters, self-mill matters, power and toughness matter, vigilance menace commander that is just going to be punching somebody for their entire life total in one go.
Yeah,
really good. Very like toned down style effect because it's just good keywords and get stats, but really good.
Yeah, I mean obviously not Greaves, but you could put the other boots on him, right? So that you can at least target him. But yeah, like as soon as you power him up, it's quite a lot. What's that one black card with the X value that's like 20 in the grave?
Oh,
the demon?
Yeah, you're talking about the demon that's like star is like 20 minus your life total?
Right.
That's the opposite of what you'd want because
it doesn't work though, right?
It has a toughness of -20.
Which isn't there one that has like a positive toughness though that goes beyond its normal stat?
Yeah, there's a couple things. Like if you have any star effect, the star is whatever it should be.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is you're likely exiling your own thing for this. Like you'll bury it alive some pool of cards that just work particularly well. And if you want to chain that with like cauldron combos, I suppose you could, or any sort of reanimate shenanigan. Because like there's mono black is really good with buried alive now with Asmodeus and Scourge Familiar and Necrotic Ooze. Like it's all there for you. But I think that probably the goal for Venom would, like you were saying, just beat face. Um,
Beat face and power matters. That's like the two things that you'd really like. Because Yargle Multani was a deck that
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
made. And if you just take out like the 3 sack to draw effects in the deck, you can build a pretty decent Venom deck that also runs like weird graveyard synergy utility, and you can get Venom up to like 40-40 pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're dropping bodies and actively keeping blockers, like Venom's gonna mess them up. But you definitely need protection. Green is good for that now as well, so you should have the utilities for that. Also, you're not tapping him for the effect, so provided you have mana, like you can sink a lot into this. Like it's not at sorcery speed, right? Like this is all something you could do off turn. I guess is what I'm saying. So it's like you could build up spontaneously and then go for game on one opponent practically, like if you had enough in the trash to do it. Do you want to leverage anything that makes, I guess there aren't really any activated abilities cost less? That's usually like a white thing.
Usually a blue thing, actually.
Well, I was thinking like Zerta does it.
Yeah,
You're right,
well,
like
Zerta's like
Bioman
the weird off color, but usually it's like Training Ground, Biomancers, Familiar, stuff
familiar,
like
which
that.
is Simic.
You have Heartstone. Heartstone is the artifact that does it.
It's by 2.
By 1.
Okay, all right, I want to give him ward and I want to give him like not shroud, the other one. Jesus.
Hexproof.
Hexproof. Jeez. Thank you. I want to give him some form of protection. But like, and in that sense, only mass removal that's not like based off of like a toxic deluge is it's gonna be hard to. You're gonna invest a lot of life to try to kill
Pay
them.
30, sucker.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, these are sick. I would say Venom could be like high B3, high B3.
Yeah, you can probably like try hard and make Venom a B4. I think most people are building Venom as a B3.
Yeah.
Venom and Spider-Man are both really cool in their own right for their own reasons, because Venom gets really big really fast and has like a ton of strange utility in the fact that he has an instant speed ability that can let him eat cards from anybody's graveyard,
Yeah.
and then does stuff with +1/+1 counters and has vigilance, so he's his own blocker. And Spider-Man is really cool because there's a clear path that you build down on him, but you could still build it in a whole bunch of different ways. Green Goblin works. Green Goblin's cool enough because he's just an evasive guy that can make himself even bigger. And Doc Ock he's going to be fun for the vehicle decks. I don't think that anybody's really playing Doc Ock.
I don't want to say he's unplayable, but I will say though, my favorite card is Grasping Tentacles. Like I would just own a copy because that is a good utility card in some list. Like if you're doing a control thing, to be perfectly honest with you, like if I run Grasping Tentacles and I don't hit something, that is obviously bad. But like your odds are likely if you target the Zer player, you're going to get a Soul Ring or a Signet or something. You're going to hit some form of artifact ramp. Like the decks that you know are leveraging a lot of artifact ramp, hit them, which is pretty much every deck.
Here's the funny thing. It isn't put one of the milled cards into play. It is put a card from their graveyard into play.
That's
so
true.
If they have something in there, you are guaranteed to hit at least that thing.
Right. That's so true. Oh my god. Yeah, you mill 8 just to give you variety. You're so right. So like if even if there was like a pedal in there, like it just give me some value on return. But like if it's a list that's leveraging red and like binning shit, like if there is something that they want to swap in, I do think Grasping Tentacles is a good card. I could see this being played. Not in many cEDH settings, but I do think just because it's cost intensive, 3 is the cap. 3 is the cap for like playable.
I think it is a little bit more playable than what you're saying, only because it is a card that you can loop infinitely to win the game.
Yeah. No, frankly, that's true. I mean, because we don't think about it too often, but yes, self mill is a strategy. Anyone who says Altar of the Brood in chat while we're making decks, this is for you. And for the reason Will just said. I mean, like if we add this in Emmet, we added an Emmet. 1, it helps us play our extra turn spells. 2, it is a way of milling our opponents out, and then we stop taking extra turns. We're just like, here, go for it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just gonna hold the rocks I stole from you for interaction. Go ahead.
I
That's
had fun
so.
playing your deck. Why don't you take a turn and play your deck? Oh wait.
You know, it's funny. Like, I know we were leveraging Emmett for, you know, other things, but during your turn, Echo of the Loss only works on our own turn. Okay, so like
Yes.
we couldn't keep the interaction. It's fine. It's fine.
If
It's
he
it's an
worked on every turn,
it's,
oh my gosh.
right. It's
Because
like,
then you're like, ignore everything. You take out all the
yeah,
extra turns and you just say, oh, I have 20 counter spells in my graveyard and like 3 flicker effects.
yeah,
I'm countering all of your stuff from here
right,
until the end of time.
right.
That's how I'm beating you. Mill by time.
Yeah, dude. It's just oh my god. Oh my god, that'd be so disgusting. Thank you, Wizards, for wording it the way you did. Because like I was only, my mind was like monkey brain. We were doing one thing, but I'm like, does this work? Does this work off turn? Yeah, it'd be pretty atrocious.
It would be gross. I'd love that. I would snap build Emmett
I think.
instantly.
So to circle back, I think it's snap buildable right now. This is this. Oh wow, wow. If I build Y'shtola, go ahead and make Emmett. Will I legitimately like Y'shtola. I've always wanted to have an infect commander, and I would like, and I my general mode of play is cEDH. So the fact that she is like actually good at doing that, is so
You
cool.
know what I just realized?
Do we fuck up?
No, the Spider-Man cards that we got are actually a full portrait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Spidey's
didn't
legs right
notice
there.
that, but they line up to make one giant massive picture.
I kind of wish that they put this together that way. I guess I don't know, it just randomly generated in there. But yeah, that's it for Emet-Selch. Thanks for bringing up Spider-Man, people. Thoughts?
Yeah. Don't worry, if they didn't bring it up, I was going to bring it up.
What, the little tableau?
Yeah, just that it would. Oh, we got Spider-Man spoilers. I was going to say it if no one said it.
Well, I'm glad you guys elected to hang out with us here for that. Again, as we close this one out, please let us know if there's anything you'd like to see in Emmet. Let us know what your build consists of, what your favorite play lines are. Obviously, if there's tech we should include, let us know. But until the next one, I mean, I guess we could do like a B3 Venom next. Hell yeah! Like, why wouldn't I want to build Venom? We're getting so many cool spoilers. We didn't even talk about dragons. The new Tarkir.
We'll get to them when we get to them. When we start seeing more frequent spoilers, I think that's probably when we're going to start covering them in full force.
This was a breath of fresh air. I need to review our video after this, but like, thanks, Meld Studio. If you have a Patreon, I'm going to throw money at you guys. You really saved my ass. Meld Studio, thank you. Thank you for not sponsoring this video. Just being there.
Thank you for existing.
With that,
Thank
though,
you for being a friend.
With that, though, before the wife gets here, we have a date tonight. But I've got a date with Monster Hunter, so I'm gonna do some of that. See you guys. Bye bye for now. I guess this is new. Meld. It's